I hope Andrew Kolvet's watching because I'm about to bust his butt. Guys, welcome in. If you know Andrew, call him. He's going to want to be on in about a minute and a half. Maybe less. So someone dial him up, text him, say, hey, Andrew, lying Andrew Kolvet, lying liar who lies, Andrew, please, by all means, your humble host is requesting your attention and your attendance in class today because this is not going to be a friendly opening for one Andrew Kolvet. We have a lot to discuss today. There was some overlooked audio a long time ago. Some audio was posted and then it got lost. And this happens in a case like this where there's just a lot of information that comes at you and it's like drinking out of a fire hose. So when you drink out of a fire hose, inevitably some of it spills to the ground and it gets lost. It goes down the drain and you never see it again. So we've re-engaged the this I don't want to say lost, overlooked, forgotten audio. And we will go back over it today because, and another thing that's really interesting is when you look at something from the beginning that you haven't heard in 8, 9, 10 months, and you're looking at it with the perspective of everything you've learned since that audio broke, you see new things you didn't see before. And we will do that tonight. We've got a lot to go over. I mean, a lot to go over tonight. So we're going to get a little bit of a post-event timeline. We are going to talk about who was looking for Charlie Kirk at the hospital. We have said time and time again that would have been Zach Qureshi. We may be rethinking that after re-looking at this overlooked audio. Maybe you guys will rethink it as well. I'm not telling you what to think. And then we're going to take a look at September 11th, the morning after, because now we have some additional context on what was going on that morning. We know where people were and what they were doing. We looked, I don't remember if it was last Friday or Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day it was, but we looked at the kind of the comings and goings of where people were on September 11th and sort of charted a really tight timeline of where Charlie Kirk could have been. So we're going to have a lot of fun, but I want to start with Andrew Kolvet. I hope someone's gotten a hold of him by now. Andrew, I want to tell you something, buddy. You are a pathological liar. You are a dishonest human being. I will never again believe another word that comes out of your mouth, and I will assume absolutely everything you say is a lie from this point forward. I've given you the benefit of the doubt on some things. Maybe he's made some mistakes. Maybe he doesn't know what he's talking about. Last week, I made a comment that Erica Kirk, based on available public records, we believed, left Ogden, Utah, where she presumably was staying, or where at least she flew into and flew out of, and went to Manassas, Virginia. She didn't go to Washington, D.C. She went to Manassas, which is a pretty good drive away. It's not like next door. There are a lot of airports that can handle private aircraft between Manassas and Washington, D.C. I don't blame her for going to Washington, D.C. She's the CEO of a massive organization that was putting on an event. It's a signature event. Probably one of the 4 or 5 biggest events they put on a year. The CEO should be there. So I'm not faulting her for being there. I mean, I thought it was a little weird that she didn't go home and see her kids afterwards. And so I made that comment. I made that comment on air that rather than going home to see your kids after a very stressful 5 days, July 6th through 10, that she flew directly to Manassas, Virginia. That got reported. That got repeated time and time again. And in fact, I started to question myself because of the ferocity of the pushback insisting that her kids were with her. I will show you quickly a tweet that Andrew Kolvet responded to. Here is the way the tweet read. Baron Coleman just reported that instead of going home to her kids after 5 days of preliminary hearings, Erica flies into Manassas, Virginia. That's pretty much precisely what I did. I did not state with specificity that I knew for a fact and Erica's kids were not with her, but I did question because I just assumed they weren't. What are you going to do? Leave them in a hotel all day? It's an hour and a half drive from Ogden to Orem, and then you've got to be in court all day, 6, 8, 9, 10 hours a day sometimes, and then you got to drive back. What are you kids just going to hang out at the Hyatt? I don't know. I mean, that's kind of weird. And so I just assumed they weren't with her. I was shocked when I did not post this picture. I don't know where this picture came from, but it's actually not a terrible picture of her, to be honest with you. I think they complained that someone had grabbed this picture and they were like, I can't believe they used this horrible picture. I don't think it's bad. I mean, in terms of pictures she's taken, it's not too terribly bad. In response to that, Andrew Kolvet drops an R-bomb. This is retarded. That's Andrew, ladies and gentlemen, not me. Don't come after your humble host for saying that. I would never say the R word, not after being chastised so forcefully by some of our listening audience. But this is retarded. Number one, she had her family with her all week. Two, she flew east to be with TPUSA students for the chapter leadership students. When the court delayed the preliminary hearing, yada, yada, yada. Just explaining why she had to go from event to event. That's fine. It's this, she had her family with her all week that I want to key in on. Because again, his response is to Baron Coleman reported that instead of Erica going home to her kids after 5 days of preliminary hearing, Erica flies into Manassas, Virginia. So what family did she have with her? We know we saw what we believe was her sister. I think that was the reporting. I frankly did not get a good enough view of her sister to be able to confirm that. All I saw was the side of her head as she was walking out of court one day. I don't really know what her sister looks like all that well. I mean, it kind of looked like her. Kind of looked like Erica, rather. So I assume they were related in some capacity. I'm willing to accept that her sister was with her all week. Someone said that the two people with the girl that we presume is her sister were her sister's kids. I will allow it. I am not going to fight back on that. I don't care. That's not the point I was making. The point I was making was, after being gone for 5 days at a very stressful event, an event you had to get up and leave from, an event you cried about, an event you had to sneak in the side door, and I don't blame any of those things either. None of that was I never one time said a single negative word about Miss Kirk, Dr. Kirk, the whole week. Never one time. I even gave an out saying, I don't blame her for going in a side door. She's a high-profile figure. There was a lot of media. There's a lot of anxiety around this case. There's a lot of anger around this case. She might very well feel like she's in jeopardy, and going in a side door, I think, is wholly appropriate. But if someone comments that even if I didn't report this, I don't think I reported that she 100% did not have her kids with her because I didn't know. I just assumed she didn't. But if someone says that I reported she did not have her kids with her, and then you come back and say this is retarded, that's a lie, her family was with her all week, then we presume, we being English-speaking human beings, rational thinkers, students of the English language, articulate individuals, logical people, we assume you're talking about the claim that was made. There's a claim that was made. The claim was that I reported she wasn't with her kids all week. You come back and say she was with her family all week. Now, there's a change of language there. I've confirmed 3 different ways. I'm not going to tell you how I did it, but I don't report things when I claim it, when I can only confirm it once. I've confirmed through 3 different sources, one of which is a current TPUSA employee. I've confirmed 3 different ways she did not have her kids with her all week. I don't know. You guys cannot possibly understand how shocked I was, because even though I don't particularly think Andrew Kolvet is a particularly honest human being, I now know him to be an on-the-record confirmed liar, because he says right here, she had her family with her all week. Well, are you talking about her sister and her niece and nephew, or nieces or nephews or whatever they are? I can't remember if it's a boy and a girl or 2 girls or 2 boys, honestly. I can't remember. I think there was a girl, so maybe nieces or niece and nephew. Because if you're talking about that, why are you responding at all? Why would you say that at all? Because the claim wasn't that she didn't have her sister and her niece or niece and nephew with her. The claim was she didn't have her kids with her. You intentionally led people to believe, and I know that because you have fellow intellectually challenged citizens like Lisa doesn't know, Lisa knows nothing, whatever her little handle is, out there quoting you saying, I told you Barron's a liar. She had her kids with her all week. And I'm telling you right now, 3 independent people have confirmed to me she did not. I don't care if she had her kids with her. It doesn't bother me one way or the other. What bothers me is the utter, blatant dishonesty that comes from this organization on a daily basis. You want to earn our trust? You want us to believe that Erica was where you said she was? Then be honest. Stop getting caught lying. She has every right to ship her kids to her in-laws. Well, I guess her in-laws were with her. She could put her kids wherever she wants. She could put them in daycare. She could ship them to a summer camp. I don't care. But don't tell me that they were with her when they weren't. It's a lie. It is a lie. It is a foundational, fundamental, dishonest statement. You, Andrew Kolvet, are a liar. And you are intentionally misleading other people, and you've been caught. You have been caught. And so now I have to ask, where was Erica Kirk on September 8th? Because you told me she was at home with her kids. And you just told the world that her kids were at home and they were with her, and they weren't. They weren't. And if you want to say, oh, I was playing a word game. I met her family was with her sister. Lie. It's an intentional misrepresentation of the truth. You knew the effect that would have on the listener. It is an intentional misrepresentation of the truth. Everything you say is a lie. I believe that because the doctor didn't say what you claimed he said. That tweet, by the way, Andrew, that you put up, that tweet you put up, putting words in the doctor's mouth, invoking Almighty God himself for a miraculous intervention that saved lives. That tweet is still up. And I'm telling you right now, he disclaims it. He disclaims it. He says he didn't say it to you. And he says he didn't talk to you about it. He talked to Erica, and you might have been on the phone. You're a dishonest person. You have to live with yourself. Maybe in this life, Andrew, your dishonesty is netting you millions of dollars. I don't know. Might be netting you a great life. You get to host the Charlie Kirk show in his name. You get a tweet under his name. You get a tweet under his wife's name, maybe? I don't know. But you are a fundamentally dishonest human being. You've been caught in another lie. At what point does the lying add up to the point where people say this is unacceptable? I ask you, donors of TPUSA, is this the organization you want to fund? Supporters, chapter leaders, is this the type of place you want to be associated with? A place where the lead spokesman, the host of the Charlie Kirk show, the PR guy, gets caught over and over being blatantly and fundamentally dishonest, lying? If what you meant was, why does it matter where her kids were? That's none of your business. Agreed. It's none of my business. None of my business. I, as a father of 8 children, after being gone for 5 days on a particularly stressful week, would want to come home to my family, want to see my kids. I questioned why she didn't have the same instinct. But it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. I don't even know if her kids, honestly, were home. I just know they weren't with her. I don't even know where on earth they were. I just know they were not with her. And that, my friends, is dishonesty. And Andrew, you can challenge me all day you want, all day long. Current TPUSA employee, someone who was on the ground in Utah, affiliated with TPUSA, guaranteed me they were not with her. Guaranteed me they were not in the state of Utah. Promised me. And I believe them because I don't believe they have a reason to lie. And if they were wrong, that's fine. You can come out and double down. You can come out and say again, no, those 3 people now were also lying. But I don't believe that's true. It's 3 independent people that did not even know I was talking to the other 2. None of them knew I was talking to the other person. They all had the exact same story. You guys have to be careful when you don't know who our sources are. You have to be very cautious when you don't know who our sources are. Very, very cautious. Because your lies catch up with you. Your lies catch up with you. I would ask you, before I report it, would you like to explain where she was this weekend? Andrew. And what she was doing this weekend? Because I may decide to talk about it this week at some point. I think it'd be better coming from you guys. I understand you guys feel like, oh, I got the ear of the president. We got the FBI on our side. We've got hundreds of millions of dollars in donations. I understand you think that it keeps you immune from any criticism. I get that. I get that. But the reality is it doesn't. People are drawn to honesty. They're drawn to real life. And she is a public figure, and people have an interest in what's going on, just like they follow professional athletes or politicians, CEOs of corporations like Elon Musk or Bill Gates. When highly notable, high-profile figures travel, people take an interest in where they're going, who they're talking to, who they're with, who's with them. I appeal to your, if there is any left in you, sir, I appeal to your sense of honor and integrity. Any shred of credibility you want people to think you have, and start being honest. Start being honest. You could come clean on this tweet, actually. You could retweet yourself. You could quote tweet yourself and say, I didn't mean to be misunderstood. Her kids absolutely were not with her, but she was with family. Okay. We all saw the family on TV. Great. Great. I would actually allow that. That would be a correction that I would praise. But you get your minions out there and you get them unleashed, and I get dozens or hundreds of messages and hundreds of tweets and hundreds of mentions, maybe thousands, calling me a liar because they put faith in what you have to say. And they need to stop. They need to stop. Because what you said wasn't true, or what you led them to believe wasn't true. Whether or not the precise actual words, she had her family with her all week. Well, she did have some family with her all week. But the question was about the kids. And you answered in a way that everybody who read it believed you were talking about her kids. And it wasn't true. And again, I'll say, would you like to be the one to explain where she was this weekend and what it was about? I think you should. I think you should. Because what happened was in my opinion, a sign of desperation, a sign that it's all crumbling down. I think you agree with me deep down, maybe even right on the surface. I think you agree with me. I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it before I do, honestly. Guys, welcome in. That was a personal message to Andrew. I'm sorry. I think dishonesty in this case, it is of such high magnitude that you have to look at everything they say through the lens that what they're saying very well may not be true. I approach this show in a fundamentally different capacity. I don't try to mislead anyone. I try to be honest and give you the facts as I understand them. That's what I'm doing tonight. I'm telling you right now, the facts as I understand them, 3 different independent witnesses, none of whom knew I was speaking with the other, all told me almost using the same words, the same thing. Hey, I was called a liar. Do you know if I was lying? Do you know if I was misrepresenting it? Because it kind of seemed like her kids weren't with her. Why would anyone call you a liar? They weren't with her. I was with her. They weren't with her at all. Kids were nowhere to be found. Oh, okay. No, I can assure you, I currently work at TPUSA. I know where her kids were. I said, don't tell me. I don't care where they were. Don't tell me where they were. And honestly, I don't want to know where they were. But you promised they weren't with her? No, I guarantee you they weren't with her. I know precisely where they were the whole time. The whole week of Utah and the whole weekend after. They weren't with her. I said, okay. It was disappointing. It was disappointing. But now I go back and think of everything. I think of all the statements you've put in people's mouths, all the things you tell us about what Charlie told you. Oh, you know, that he hated that Candace. He couldn't stand it. He was managing Candace. Oh, like her kids were with her? Same kind of reality, same truth? Oh, Charlie, you know, he told me every time I turned around, I was in the shower, rubbing my armpits with a loofah, getting in all the sensitive areas, and Charlie's just banging on the glass door. If anything happens to me, Andrew, boo, 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 boo. If anything happens to me. What, Charlie? What? I want Erica to take over. I know you just told me that at breakfast. I just want you to be sure. Every time I turned around, says Andrew Kolvet, Charlie was insisting that Erica would take over if something happened to her. I don't believe you anymore. You've been caught lying too many times. Now, like I said, it's possible every single person I talked to went on the record, went on background with me and lied. It's possible. They all went on background and lied. But I don't believe that's true. How would they know to lie so consistently? They wouldn't. They don't even know each other, I don't think. I mean, yeah, I guess two of them do. How would they know? I question everything you say. You guys like to point, oh, that Barron, he's a con man, he's a liar. Name one thing. I will correct the record. You prove me wrong on something, I'll correct the record. I will lovingly correct the record, and I'll be thankful to do so because I want the impression I leave people to be accurate. I want it to be accurate. If I say something or I represent something as factual or a certain way, I want people to walk away and say, yeah, I believe him because he strives for accuracy. And if I later learn something that changes it, I'll say, whoa, I think I was wrong. It's actually this. I'll do that a little bit tonight, frankly. This is a story I don't have to do tonight, but I'm going to. And it's a story that's going to cause me to rethink some of the things I've said about this case. And that's okay. Why? Because we strive for accuracy. We strive for accuracy. And as we learn new facts or we view old facts in a new light, we may have to adjust the way we think about things. But I am beside myself after the conversations I had with people over the last several days. The first conversation I had was actually before I went on the air Friday night, but I only had one person, and I wasn't going to sit there and call Andrew a bald-faced liar on the word of one person. Yesterday I talked to another one, and today I talked to another one, and I thought, my goodness, they all said the same thing. He had to have lied. He must have lied. But again, if you insist that what you said was accurate, and you have some basis to demonstrate that what I said was wrong, I'll be happy to correct it. I'll be happy to correct it. Is this the same tweet? Yeah. All right. So I want to play a. Man, I don't want to play that. I want to play a video. I want to begin to establish a timeline, and this video is going to be the basis for the timeline we're going to establish today, particularly around who was going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. Because a lot of reporting, including from your humble host, has put the blame of that on a guy named Zechariah Qureshi. After reviewing this audio that has been available for months and months and months, but audio we'd frankly forgotten about, and viewing it in light of everything we've learned to date, I don't know that that's necessarily true. So I want to establish whether or not that's true. No one's asked us to make a correction. No one's contacted me and told me what we reported was wrong. No one's tagged me in something and said, hey, you got that wrong. This is just, we discovered this, and I don't want to leave anyone with an impression that might not be 100% accurate. And so we're going to go over this timeline, but I want to show you real quickly. There's been a lot of discussion about a bald man with 3 passengers. And so we scoured the internet. Who could be this bald man with 3 passengers? If you don't know what we're talking about, let me pull this down for you a second. If you don't know what we're talking about, Miss Noble is the name of a woman who lives in Orem, Utah. She had some Nest doorbell footage that she turned over to law enforcement after the evening of September 10th on into the morning of September 11th. In the middle of the night, while most normal people are asleep, somebody was driving around Orem, Utah, and they parked in front of Miss Noble's house. The car they were in looked suspiciously like a Dodge Challenger, leading many to believe it was probably Tyler Robinson coming back to look for the weapon he had stashed. That's the official narrative, that he stashed a weapon and he comes back and looking for it. We don't know whether that's true or not, but that's the story we've been told, and the Dodge Challenger pulling up in front of the Nest doorbell camera was supposed to support that narrative. Well, When on cross-examination, the officer who reviewed the footage was asked, hey, didn't the person who provided the footage, Miss Noble, didn't she say the vehicle was driven by a bald man? And he was like, oh, actually, yeah, she did. She did tell us that. And didn't the person, Miss Noble, who captured the footage, say there were 3 passengers in the car with the bald man? As a matter of fact, she did. Well, it was interesting that they were trying to hide that from us. So we scoured the internet. We looked and looked. Can we have any evidence, any time on September 10th, that a bald man was seen with 3 passengers? Well, as a matter of fact, we have that. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Where we're continuing to follow developments surrounding the shooting.
If you don't know who that is, that's Mikey McCoy walking in on the right. That's Mikey McCoy. He is down to 1 strap on the backpack. You know, he had 2 straps the whole time on the while he was at the event, but now he's down to 1. Down to 1 strap. Okay.
Of Republican.
Oh, there's 2 more people. That's 3 people. That could be 3 passengers. In the foreground, we have Danny Phillip. In the back, we have Nate Williamson. Okay, so we got 3 people that could be 3 passengers. Are we going to find a bald man in this footage?
An activist.
Oh, there's a bald man. He's in the back. He's got a muffin top. That's Blake Neff. Presumably, that's Blake Neff. That's a bald man with 3 passengers pulling up to the hospital. I don't know what time this was. I think Daisy told me this was posted a little after 2 p.m., but we have no idea when it was captured. But we have a bald man and 3 passengers pulling up to the hospital. Now, is this the same bald man or the same 3 passengers pulling up to the Noble's house at 12:45? I don't know. I can't say that with any certainty. I'll tell you who I won't ask that question to is Andrew Kolvet. He just lied to me. He would lie to me like he lied about, well, I'll leave it to your imagination, whether he would tell the truth.
Charlie Kirk, who was on a campus nearby.
I'll be honest, these guys don't seem particularly torn up. This is in the immediate aftermath of the taking down of Charlie Kirk. I mean, this is like, I don't know, could be as little as an hour, maybe 2 hours at the most. I mean, I think I was more torn up sitting at this very desk in Middle Tennessee. I don't believe ever met Charlie Kirk. I went back and looked through a bunch of old pictures of me at events just to see if I had ever met him. I don't think I did ever met him. I saw a lot of weird pictures in there as I was flipping back through them. But they don't, I'll let you see this again. They don't seem particularly torn up. They're just sort of moseying. Mikey looks like he's playing Words with Friends. We're just kind of playing Words with Friends there.
Republican activist Charlie Kirk, who was on.
Danny Phillip just moseying like he's heading to English 101. Got to go see what Professor Sampson has to say today about the Iliad.
On a campus nearby talking to students, as he frequently does. He is the leader of the Republican youth movement. President Trump called him instrumental in getting him reelected as president. There was a shooting today, and Charlie Kirk's representatives
anyway, bald man with 3 passengers. Question. We made a point the other day to point out that the only 2 people in the place that were affiliated with TPUSA that we could find that had backpacks on were actually there were 3, but the only 2 men were Mikey and Danny. They still have their backpacks on. Like you obviously came to the hospital in a car. You can't leave the backpack in a car. You couldn't leave the backpack in a car that was 10 feet away from you at the event. It was right there. It was open. It was literally right there. Frank Turek allegedly left his bag in a car. Anyway, I just wanted you to know we found a bald man with 3 passengers. That's funny. It was uploaded at 2:17 p.m., so it had to be recorded before that. And it appeared to be B-roll, so you would think it wasn't live footage. So you would think it's sometime before 2:17. So you're talking inside of an hour and a half, maybe earlier than that. They don't look particularly torn up, if I'm being honest. Now I want to play a witness. I don't know whether to believe this witness or not, but I do want to play a little bit of this because we're going to bounce off of this and try to think if this helps our timeline at all that we're going to talk about today. I don't want to spend an excessive amount of time about this. So I'm not going to play the whole thing. I think I'm going to play like the first 2 minutes. But this is somebody who claims that they were an eyewitness to the arrival of Charlie Kirk. It was brought to my attention, and I remembered seeing this when somebody said, hey, you did a show and you were speculating Charlie may not have been at the hospital at all. But there was at least one person a couple of months afterwards who claimed to have been an eyewitness, recorded a video, and walked back to the scene. And I thought, oh, I remember that now. So we tracked it down. It was on Project Constitution's page. He was kind enough to put this video up, so I'm going to let it roll and tell you just a little bit, if this guy's being honest, what it means.
So they head north, the first one. And they pull in right over here where it says ambulance. Right here. Then they go around over here to the front where it says surgery. And then I was parked right here. And when they pulled in here, some dude gets out in the back. Some dude's in the back, like of the SUV. He has like a white hat on. And he gets out from the, I don't know what the fuck he's doing in the back.
Sorry for the language, guys.
No, not like in the back seat. He's in the back. Like the hatch of the SUV opens up. Dude gets out. Driver gets out. He's bald-headed dude.
Now that's another bald-headed guy. A lot of follically challenged TPUSA officials on the ground that day. So what he's describing is, and he doesn't really describe too much more. He doesn't talk about them getting Charlie out or anything, but he talks about the guy with the hat getting out, the guy with the, and I'm going to fast forward just a little bit here because then he starts talking about something else. But he talks about the guy in the back. That would be Frank Turek, the bald-headed guy. That would be, I think his name's Justin. And so you have at least an accurate description of where everybody was. Now, it's possible that by the time this guy had seen this video footage, or that decided to record this video footage, he had seen the footage of Frank Turek jumping in the back. He'd heard the discussion about who was where. He knew that Justin Davis, the bald-headed guy, was driving. I mean, there was video available. You remember probably most terrifyingly well-known footage was from Terrell Farnsworth, the incredibly creepy, very suspect, very suspicious footage that he filmed. Somehow, when the bang went off, Terrell Farnsworth knew precisely where to go stand to film Charlie Kirk being taken to the SUV. We still don't know to this day, and no one's bothered to ask him and get him on the record saying, how did you know where to stand? How did you know precisely where to stand? How did you know they were going to take him that way and not call an ambulance? But that's neither here nor there. So he describes that. Now he describes Mikey McCoy showing up.
What's that table they throw your ass on and then wheel you in? That thing. Now, here's where I'm at. This is where I'm parked. About 4 minutes later, let's see. 8, 9:44. Yeah, about 5. I don't know. No, I do know. Let's just say up to 5. Another SUV pulls in, okay? But this SUV passes me right here. That's why I keep saying it looked like Mikey McCoy. And then this one, because at the time that this is happening, I'm eating my cheeseburger and fries and a milkshake, and
Yeah, see, this is the thing eyewitnesses don't get. We don't care what you're eating. Just tell us where people went. And honestly, I was eating my cheeseburger, fries, and a milkshake made me think, man, is this guy LARPing? Like, is he just adding details for the sake of adding? But I'm going to let him go for a second. And then I'll explain. I think if he doesn't get to the point quickly, I'll explain what he's saying.
I have no idea what the fuck's going on.
All right, I'm going to stop him. I forgot I forgot he'd cuss this much. Basically, what he says is Mikey McCoy goes around to the other side of the building, and some guy, he doesn't go in. He parks over by the physician parking, and somebody from inside the hospital comes out, gets in the car with Mikey, and they leave. So if that happens, We don't believe it would have been Brian Harpole. Brian Harpole describes being on top of the stretcher, cutting off Charlie Kirk's shirt and ordering doctors around and telling them what to do. Fantastical, but that's what he says he's doing. We don't believe it's Frank Turek because Frank Turek describes being at the hospital the entire time and needing scrubs and all this other stuff. So we don't believe it's Frank Turek, which leaves Justin, the driver, and Dan Flood, assuming it's someone who came with Charlie. Justin, the driver, and Dan Flood. And then they leave. One of the two of them leaves, assuming it's someone with the original party. Question is, where would they be going 3 or 4 minutes after they dropped Charlie off? Why are they in such a hurry? Where are they headed? And where's Mikey McCoy headed? So I don't know if this story's true or not. If it's true, it's a data point that we got to think about and try to figure out what exactly is going on, because at this point you got to realize Mikey has no idea what's going on. He didn't even see Charlie fall off the chair. All he did was turn, walk away, and start calling people and telling them, oh, there's a lot of blood. There's a lot of blood. I still don't know how he knew that. He left before the blood showed up. So if this guy's telling the truth, I think there's some legitimate questions that are given to Mikey McCoy and then either Justin or Dan. Like, where were you headed? Where did you go? If it wasn't Justin or Dan, there's an even bigger question. Who got in a car with you, Mikey? You showed up. Somebody came in from inside the hospital and left. It was just a few minutes after they got there. And we get some kind of an idea, too, of potentially how much time they made up by going, as Brian Harpole described, 60, 80, 100 miles an hour and breaking intersections. Sounds like they made up about 4 minutes. Okay, I'll allow that. But where were they headed? And who got in the car? We presume it wasn't Charlie that got in the car. That would be weird if it was. But we presume it wasn't Charlie that got in the car. It's worth noting. I'm not suggesting this plane did anything wrong, but it's worth noting that plane that in the first 24 hours to 48 hours after the event at UVU happened, that there was a plane in 888 Kilo Golf that took off from Orem, Utah, not terribly long, or Provo, Utah Airport, not terribly long after the Charlie Kirk event, and then turned its ADS-B transponder off, disappeared from radar, presumably landed somewhere or turned around and came back, but came back and turned its ADS-B transponder back on the way back to Provo and then landed. We still don't know where that plane went. We have a statement from the owner of the plane saying all was fine. It was in accordance with standard policy, that we didn't do anything wrong. I don't know that I believe that, if I'm being honest. It sounds really suspicious to me. In the back of my mind, that guy is still very much part of this story. But without more to go on, he's, what more can you say about it? We said all there was to say about it 9 months ago when it happened. Now, but let's just say what he's saying is true. Who was in the car? Where was Mikey in such a hurry to go? Where did he go after he left? Those are all live issues, and I hope the defense gets to the bottom of those questions. So this is just sort of a kind of a post-event timeline. Now, we have another potential eyewitness, if what she's saying is true. This is on Twitter. Again, it's hard to tell if what people on Twitter say is true. We know Andrew Kolvet is on Twitter, for example. We now question absolutely everything he says. But here's another potential eyewitness that might be able to put Charlie Kirk at the hospital. I'm currently at Timpanogos Regional Hospital visiting my grandmother. There are tons of police cars out front, and they're putting up yellow caution tape around the entrances. I believe Charlie Kirk is here. This was at 2:20 p.m. This was nearly 2 hours after, I guess this is 2:20 p.m. our time. So nearly an hour after the event. He went down at 12:23, excuse me. I'm screwing the time on. He went down at 12:23. This would have been posted at 1:20 local time. And he says UVU's right down the road. And then she updates with a picture showing the caution tape and the police vehicles there. So, and the police placed the hospital on lockdown, told me I can't leave, stuck here with grandma, could be worse. The woman is 95 and just had a heart attack, and she's more worried about Charlie Kirk than herself. Still locked down. My guess is his family is here. I didn't know you could force people to stay in a hospital. Like, I'm old school. If I'm ready to leave the hospital, I got to go. I'd probably say I'm having a medical emergency and I got to get out of here. And then they say, "What's you're at the hospital?" It's a good point. You make an excellent point, officer. So we have, let's see here. That was 5:19 p.m. that the hospital was still locked down. At 5:40 p.m., 5:40 p.m. local time, we have a clip from the local news that says the medical examiner may be showing up.
Out to Michael Gooby, who is at the hospital. Michael, I understand that we're seeing some new vehicles to arrive.
You're right, Robin. We've just seen two Office of the Medical Examiner's vehicles come into Timpanogos Regional Hospital. You see one of them moving right now. We saw who appear to be law enforcement in tactical vests and helmets come out of one of the cars, and they're here to, of course, investigate the death of Charlie Kirk and look into the body as well. So we've just seen that happen right here. There have been more police officers kind of going in and out, mainly Provo and Orem police, from what I've been able to see. Of course, a UHP vehicle.
So at 5:40, we have the medical examiner show up. Okay, fair enough. So we're getting sort of a timeline built out on everything that's happened in that day. We know at that time the hospital is, according to at least one witness, the it's echoing. It shouldn't have been echoing. At least one witness says the hospital is still locked down. Now we go to the medical examiner's office, the state medical examiner's office, a little town called Taylorsville, just south of Salt Lake City. It's kind of in that metropolitan sprawl that makes up the majority of the population of Utah. This is at 6:07 p.m.
Through the doors behind us. And, you know, in death, basically, we're all equal, in particular, a homicide. This is going to require a full investigation combined with an autopsy. And given the lateness of the day today, this likely is not going to happen tomorrow. The other thing to keep in mind here is that with law enforcement at UVU, they may or may not be able to handle this level of investigation. So it may behoove someone like the Utah County Major Crimes Task Force or some other investigative agency to be there during the autopsy. And there could be some complications because clearly there were life-saving efforts made at the hospital down in Orem. That could complicate whatever happens with the autopsy here tomorrow. But that's going to be a full investigation. Again, this is a homicide case. Again, whether it was Mr. Kirk, sadly, today or someone here in the valley, it's the same protocol, the same procedure. And the body of Mr. Kirk is expected to arrive here probably within the next half an hour or so. For now,
Well, he was off by about an hour and a half because we think it arrived closer to 8 o'clock, 7:30 or 8 o'clock, rather than closer to 6:30 or 6:40. But we will notice that the guy could not have been more wrong. What he said is, hey, we're all equal in death. No, sir. No, sir. Some dead people are more dead than others. Some people are worth more in death than others. He seemed to be mistakenly under an impression that in death, we're all treated equally. And that Charlie Kirk would be treated the exact same as someone else. It's 6:30 p.m. It's after business hours. This may not even be able to happen tomorrow. Plus, there were life-saving measures that took place. So we're probably going to have an even more extended autopsy as they have to differentiate wound from the event from wound from the life-saving measures. Well, we now know none of that happened. It was quick. It was dirty. It was in the middle of the night. It was probably done before 4:30 a.m. The body was packed up and it left before any news organization showed up. I don't blame news organizations for not camping out overnight. Nobody would have expected that to be the case. Because again, I think the newsman was right. Most of us assume that in death, we're all pretty much equal and that everything would be, everything would sort of take place according to protocol. Now, this is going to be a little interesting. This is going to be time consuming. So I need you guys to bear with me here. We are going to go through a lot of audio. Let me get it on the right screen here. We're going to go through a lot of audio. This audio is going to be, where's the spreadsheet we were working with? I guess I don't need. All right. We knew that we were looking for a guy named Zechariah Qureshi. We'd been talking about him. He's come up. We've looked into his past. We've looked into his dad's past. We've looked into his brother's past. We've looked into the whole family. Dom from I Don't Give a Dom gave a great piece last night on Zechariah Qureshi. But we have to go back and look at it in the context of what was actually said on the police scanner radio. And we're going to do that now. So we have a number of items from that day's radio transmission. They started a little after 3 p.m. So almost 3 hours rather after Charlie Kirk went down. We start hearing about Zechariah Qureshi, and we start hearing about people going hospital to hospital, perhaps. Why did Zechariah Qureshi come up on anybody's radar? We now know. And I'll play this now. I hope the audio is better on this than it was on what we listened to just a little bit ago. But let me share the screen here so that you guys won't see me large looking over my shoulder at my little monitor off to the side of my desk, because I've got to work on 2 different monitors to see this. But the first thing is they're looking for somebody going place to place.
Hey, I just got a call from my captain. Evidently, this suspect was at Utah Valley and left, and maybe heading towards Tim or OCH. If we can get a detective each one of those locations at the front entrance of either the ER or the building to see where, if he comes to one of those locations.
So the transcript's not exactly right. He had somebody at Utah Valley Hospital looking for Charlie Kirk, and they don't know if he's going to Timpanogos Hospital or the other hospital in the area. So they're telling people, hey, be on the lookout. Something suspicious happened. We've got to we've got to make sure nobody else is in danger here. So that's how this whole thing kicks off. This is the beginning of somebody going hospital to hospital looking. Now, the times you're looking at are Eastern times on the screen here. So this next one we're going to play is going to say 4:49 Eastern, but the reality is it's 3:49 or 2:49 rather Mountain Time, 2:49 Mountain Time. I think it's important to remember that. Here's the next piece here.
I'll tell TJ. So it's 1014, the guy that's at the 400 South 2J address that they are wanting watched is a Zechariah Qureshi. He drives a red Toyota Corolla. Okay. Sorry, it's actually black, 2016. They last hit on clock last night in Provo on Center Street.
Dallin, can you put that out on our groupie so we can look it up, the spelling of his name?
Yeah, I'll put that out. And this info came in the CAD. Someone called in and said that he posted something on social media about something he wanted to do to Charlie Kirk.
So I'm going to pause it there. The reason Zechariah Qureshi came onto the police radar was not because he was going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. It was because he had posted something to social media, allegedly, pursuant to what we just heard on the police radio, that he wanted to do something to Charlie Kirk. That's why he ended up on the police radar. That's the guy they're looking for. They're talking about his home address. They're talking about his car, what kind of car he drives. They're talking about where it was last spotted on flock cameras, which frankly should be terrifying to all of us. Now we will continue.
Okay, so I got a picture of another picture of suspect, and we're going to get a picture of a vehicle, and that's what we're going to be looking for at any of the 3 locations that we're going to right now. My spouse is doing some Facebook stalking, and it looks like that dude is actively deleting posts on Facebook.
So this makes it look even more suspicious. If you say you want to do something to someone, and then something happens to that someone, and then you're driving around town deleting the post that said you wanted to do something, you look pretty bad, for being honest. I think good police work would say, who is that? What did he do? Why is he deleting his Facebook posts? Perhaps we should go look him in the eyeballs, get an idea of what he's talking about. So this is how Zechariah Qureshi showed up on police radar. Not police radar. I shouldn't say that, because police radar could be like the radar gun, and that's not what we're talking about. This is how he ended up in police attention. This is why they started talking about him. Somebody called the police and said, hey, There's a guy named Zechariah Qureshi. Here's his Facebook. You'll notice all these posts saying he wants to do something to Charlie Kirk. Now, why would he want to do something to Charlie Kirk? I don't know. Is it related to his work, his dad's work, his brother's work? Is he part of some Magic the Gathering game where they were getting a little crazy talking about Charlie Kirk? Is he somehow related to all these weirdos in Utah that were talking about Charlie Kirk? I don't know. Does he politically not like him? Does he think he's too far right, too far left? I don't know. I don't know. But that's how he ended up on the radar. Now, we will get to the point of some of the confusion here in just a moment and why it was everybody instantly started reporting that he was the guy going hospital to hospital.
Toyota just pulling up, parking on the street, black.
So we've got a black Toyota pulling up and parking on the street. Toyota Corolla.
Again, so this is the guy that's posting stuff on Facebook, but his car doesn't match what Hate's sending out. So we just want to keep an eye on this, but it's disappearing on me. Sierra 820 Bravo Lima.
Hey, blue polo shirt, black backpack, tan pants just went in Unit 6. Does not appear to be the male in the photo.
So they've got a photo of a suspect. There are two things taking place here. We have a guy going hospital to hospital looking. I think even the police get confused. We've got a guy going hospital to hospital, presumably. That's what the fear is, looking for Charlie Kirk. They'll explain why they say that in just a second. But you've got a guy who goes into the hospital and says, where's Charlie Kirk? And then he runs off. And so they've got an idea of what that guy looks like. They send a picture of that guy around. Meanwhile, we have a second discussion taking place about a guy who actively said on Facebook he wanted to do something to Charlie Kirk. What that was, we don't know. And then he's actively deleting it in the aftermath. And that has landed on the police's attention. And they're looking for him. Well, they just camped out at his apartment. They had his address. They had a unit there camping out. And they just watched him walk in his apartment. He's got on a blue shirt and khaki pants. He doesn't match the photo of the person who left the hospital. That's what you just heard. I think the blue shirt and khaki pants is pretty accurate because that's what we have him on camera wearing at the event. We know where he was standing. We know who he was standing with. Ironically, he was standing with two guys in maroon shirts. But apparently, maroon's a very popular color among the younger set at UVU. Might have nothing to do with any operations. But I want to go back and let this transmission finish here. But I'm just trying to make sure everybody's clear in their mind what's happening here and why there was so much confusion about Zechariah Qureshi.
Tim, you just got out of that black car.
Okay, tell me that description again.
Heavier set, male, maybe 20s, navy blue polo, tan pants, black backpack, long, short hair.
Okay, so best guess is an older model Nissan Armada or a Toyota Sequoia would be the best guess.
So now they're back asking about the person who left the hospital. Now they're saying it looks like an older model Nissan Armada. No one on their right mind would confuse an older model Nissan Armada, which is a full-size SUV, 15-year-old full-size SUV with a SUV compartment, big car with a Toyota Corolla, which is just larger than a micro machine, a teeny, teeny, tiny little car. No one's going to confuse the two. And so it's clear we're talking about two different people. But over the police scanner, it gets kind of confused. It gets conflated. You end up with people, your humble host included, that listened to this and thought Zechariah Qureshi was the person going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. What they're saying is the person who busted into the hospital looking for Charlie Kirk was in their best guess, an older model Nissan Armada, perhaps a Toyota Sequoia. But they're pretty sure it was a Nissan Armada. And so let's continue here.
Armada may be closer than the Sequoia. All right. And best guess is this dude you're sending pictures of and not the heavier set guy that we're watching in 2J?
Yeah, this dude here was heavier set and did not have a prosthetic hand. I'll actually use both of them normally.
Enter suspect number 3. We had Zechariah Qureshi. He has two hands, two natural hands. Zechariah Qureshi drives a Toyota Corolla. He was wearing a blue shirt and khakis. So put him to the side. That's person one, Zechariah Qureshi. Then you have a one-armed bandit. We don't know his name yet on here. We do know his name. His name was Andrew Piskadlo. He's done interviews. He's talked about it. He's been open about it. He was seen on footage in the immediate aftermath, running away. He had kind of a black suit with a white shirt. He was carrying a bag, and in the bag had a strap, and people thought it might have been a firearm. And so he's wandering around, but he has one arm, and he looked pretty suspicious, if I'm being honest. I mean, who wears a suit and carries a bag with a strap in it wandering around a college campus? Apparently Andrew Piskadlo does. But he only has one arm. And you didn't know he just had one arm. It looked like he was wearing a glove. Why? Gunshot residue, fingerprints. I mean, your mind can go wild at that point. And so they're now talking about three different people. You have Zechariah Qureshi, you have Andrew Piskadlo, the one-armed man, and then you have the guy going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk, who may be driving in an Armada, an early model Armada. And that guy apparently is heavyset. Where did we hear heavyset? Oh, Officer Bagley described the person on the roof as not heavyset. So I think we can safely rule that guy out. He's not heavyset. I know that. All right. So let's fast forward a little bit. We'll fast forward a little bit. Let's go to 1523. Oh, not 25, 23. 22. We'll have to make 22 work. So let me pull this back up. Now we're going to get a little differentiation.
I just talked to a 2J patrol. He said that they didn't have anybody do anything on 4th South. The bull they got out was not the same vehicle that they saw leave the hospital that they thought suspect was. That's going to be the SUV, the Armada looking one.
All right, so yeah, I just talked to him. There's no car outstanding. They didn't know that the guy went in the apartment because of some other traffic going on. But if this guy comes out, we'll contact him, see what he has to say. But he doesn't match our description.
So they basically ruled out Qureshi by this point. And they say, hey, we're not going to bother this guy. He doesn't match the description of the guy on campus that we're looking for with one arm. He doesn't match the description of the guy going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. And so we're going to rule this guy out, but let's keep eyes on him. And if he comes out, we'll ask him what's up. But because we know he was suspiciously deleting Facebook posts, and that's a little weird if we're being honest with each other. But let's not like bust in his door. We don't need to send SWAT. Now, we got our first mention now of Andrew Piskadlo by name, I believe.
Yeah, and in talking to the bosses above, our main suspect is still going to be that guy in the black suit with the prosthetic hand. Their guess is it is a Nissan Armada at best, and that'll be the main suspect. The really good photos that we got were ones from the Valley Hospital where he specifically went there asking for Charlie Kirk. When confronted, he took off running, got in that car, and jetted out of there.
Just talk to the medical examiner's office.
And so there's a question, are they still conflating Andrew Piskadlo with the guy who went into the hospital? We don't know this yet. We'll have to keep listening to find out. We don't know at this point, are they still conflating the two? But they don't give up on Zechariah Qureshi. They actually do go talk to him. I actually want to stop at this point. I want to show you real quickly a picture of the SUV that drew our attention. There was an older model SUV, if you recall, that showed up next to Tyler Robinson, or one of the Tylers, as he's walking onto campus. This is Limping Tyler. He walks up to the corner here, and an older model SUV, see that? Pulls up beside him. It's dark, could be green, could be gray, could be black, we're not sure. But it's definitely an older model SUV. Is it a Nissan Armada? Is it an older model GMC Yukon? You know, Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. We don't know. We don't know. But I do want to just leave that in your mind when you hear one of the radio transmissions coming up here shortly. But they now go over to Qureshi's apartment. And I want to bring your attention to going over to Qureshi's apartment because while they're there, they get a visit. And the visit, in light of everything we now know, is a little interesting. The visit's kind of shocking, frankly, in light of what we know.
All right, KK, you'll have a good eye on the door. We'll have a radio with us. But other than that, we'll be incognito, knowing that Cook, you're going to be around the corner ready to help if needed, correct? Cook, are you on this channel? Let me call Cook real quick. Probably. Yeah, I got you. So Brandon and I will go to the door. You'll be around the corner for our support if needed.
Gordo, there is a window on the right side of the door, and the blinds are open.
All right.
They're 82.
You say that again, Kiki.
They're 82.
Suspect or someone different?
Suspect.
Hey, let's wait for them to confirm that before we put that out anywhere else.
All right, so they're heading to Zechariah Qureshi's house. And then the SBI, the Utah SBI, kind of takes over at that point.
Told in a phone call that SBI will come down and relieve us on this apartment so we can go hunt for a green Armada.
So the SBI is going to relieve them. They're going to hunt for the Green Armada. Oh, the Green Armada, this suspicious Green Armada. Where could the suspicious Green Armada be?
Sorry to do this. I do think we're looking for an Armada, but we're not 100% looking for a guy wearing all black with a prosthetic arm. I'm trying to clarify this all, but just stay what you're doing and keep your eyes out. And if that Armada does pull in, deal with it safely.
So we may be ruling out Andrew Piskadlo, the guy with one arm. Not sure what happened, why they're ruling him out. We think we've ruled out Zechariah Qureshi, but they are going to make contact. They're waiting for the SBI to show up, and they do have backup around the corner just in case. But they don't want to scare the kid by having, 90 cars show up at his front door. So let's go hunt for this Green Armada. Where's the Green Armada? Well, first, let's talk to Andrew Piskadlo.
We've got a note that was put in. I don't know if you guys are interested in looking at it. With a call from Salt Lake City Dispatch. It was input at 1612, or you can call in.
Dispatch 810-9, that intel from Salt Lake.
Salt Lake Dispatch called in, and they received a call from a male that said the officers were looking for him and related. It was in relation to the incident. And the information is in the note that he did have a biotronic right arm. That same individual that called Salt Lake Dispatch also called us just a few minutes prior and said that he was there, but didn't have anything to do with what happened.
So Andrew Piskadlo, the guy with one arm, he sees that all over the internet, these guys are looking for him, and everybody says he's suspicious. And, I'm sure he's been looked at strangely his whole life with one arm. It's not something we as humans should do, but, it happens. It's been known to happen. You see somebody with one arm, you give him a second look. So he's probably accustomed to it. He's probably particularly sensitive to it. So he calls. He calls and says, hey, it's not me. I was there, but I didn't do it. But guess what? All of a sudden, we're back on this Qureshi kid.
I'm getting strange phone calls that maybe this guy's more connected, the one that we grabbed, than we are giving him credit for. So we got to hold on this.
So they're getting strange phone calls that maybe this Qureshi kid is more connected than they first believed. So they're going to now attempt to make contact. They'd ruled him out. They're in the process of ruling out Piskadlo, but they are going to talk to him. We still don't know who's in the Armada.
Hey, a Nissan Armada just showed up.
Well, now we do. A Nissan Armada just rolled up. How convenient. How convenient. We had a situation where somebody was going hospital to hospital, that's their words, not mine, looking for Charlie Kirk. It was enough to show up on the police radar. It was suspicious. They put a bolo out for the guy. They take a picture of him. They discuss what kind of car he's driving. They think it's a Nissan Armada. And wouldn't you know, while they're sitting there, the Armada rolls up on them. What are the odds? It's like Tyler Robinson turning himself in without being looked for. So the Nissan Armada just shows who, pray tell, is in the Nissan Armada. We are dying to know. We're waiting with bated breath.
I have 0 view now since they parked there.
Yeah, I'm being told Armada is SBI.
Oh, it's the FBI. It's the FBI. That's who's in the Armada. It's the FBI, guys.
All right. Yeah, we can just talk to them and see if they want us to hang around in case they need more bodies or if they're cutting us loose. That's all we need to know.
Okay, well, we'll just hang out now that the FBI showed up. Someone thought they heard SBI, so.
He saw us out of the car. So the guy in the Armada was the FBI, and the other dark hairs with the marshals.
So it's the FBI and the marshals. And they're driving a Nissan Armada. And when they are confronted at the hospital, instead of showing a badge and saying, it's okay, guys, we're with the FBI. No harm, no hard feelings. We're looking for Charlie Kirk. If he's not here, we'll check another hospital. And I'm special agent so-and-so, agent so-and-so. I don't even know what the FBI people go by. I think they always inflate their titles. Not all FBI people, but everyone. There's no such thing as a janitor anymore. They're like a maintenance specialist. They're a sanitary engineer. You're no longer just an agent with the FBI. You're like super secret double special sauce agent, FBI. But you got FBI people and marshals showing up. Well, this is weird. Might we institute some, assuming the people at the FBI were acting in the line and scope of their employment, might we institute some additional training for these people so that when they're asked what's going on here, they don't flee. They just confidently explain who they are and explain the situation, and then we don't have a 4-hour manhunt for them. Then we don't have a 4-hour manhunt looking for the FBI.
Okay, so it's not SBI.
No, he said FBI.
Yeah, they're clarifying FBI, Federal Bureau of Investigation, not State Bureau of Investigation. Let's back up here to confirmation the one-armed individual is not involved.
Right, everybody. Official confirmation is the one-armed individual is not involved, so we will not be pursuing that.
Is the Armada still in play, or does that roll the Armada out as well? Yeah, that rules right out too.
Okay, guys. We're going to still hold this apartment until we know we've passed it off to SBI. And I'll start working on that, but everything else we can cancel on for now. The Green Armada and the one-armed bandit, we aren't going to go chasing. And I'll do.
While we're doing training with the dispatch and the FBI, let's not call our non-suspects the one-armed bandit, shall we? Let's just call them uni-handed individual or something. Let's have some respect.
So group me as well.
SBI is here. They have taken over. They have the keys to the apartment and the keys to the car.
So that's the last time we hear about Zechariah Qureshi. We don't hear about Zechariah Qureshi again, and we just have one more small piece here that kind of finishes off the radio interest and helps us clarify for the rest of the evening.
Carl's house, from his house in Salt Lake. We're good. So what's the plan now? Are we just going to head back south? Or?
Hey, Kiki, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
I got to put out a message real fast, but can you go and make contact with those guys at that house and let them know that we're going to clear? And
I'm going to back up just a hair. I think I missed the beginning of that clip. Maybe I'll start just a second or two before it.
Just got confirmation from FBI. We are good to break from the RO's house, from his house in Salt Lake. We're good.
Okay, so they're leaving the house. Qureshi's done. Piskadlo's done. The Green Armada's done. We're right where we started. We have no leads on anybody. There's nothing we know that we didn't know 40 minutes before. That whole series, though, was so confusing that everybody conflated everybody else. At one point, they had Piskadlo in the Green Armada. At one point, they had Zechariah Qureshi in tactical gear going hospital to hospital looking for Charlie Kirk. Now, do we rule out Zechariah Qureshi from playing any role whatsoever in this event? I don't think you do, actually. He clearly said something on his Facebook that drew somebody's attention. He took the time to delete them. He obviously felt they looked bad. And he was, frankly, standing next to somebody's in maroon shirts. And sorry, that matters in this case. The influx of people. You know what I did over the weekend? I don't work on Saturdays, but I do have fun on Saturdays. Part of my fun was looking over old Charlie Kirk event footage to count the number of people in maroon shirts. Would it shock you to believe there are almost none ever? You can scan, you can look at pictures, you can look at the pictures he's debating, you can look at the video footage out of the crowd, you can look at still footage from out of the crowd. There's almost never anyone in a maroon shirt. Why? Not a lot of men wear maroon shirts. I actually was shopping yesterday and I found a maroon t-shirt and I almost bought it. Because I don't know that I've ever seen one in the wild. I don't know that I've ever come across a maroon t-shirt, but I almost bought it. I almost bought it if for no other reason than kind of like a keepsake. Maybe wear it on a member show or something. Just show up, don't say a word about it, and throw on a maroon t-shirt and just start talking. Be like, sorry, guys, had a political event this weekend. You know, we love to wear the maroon t-shirt to the political events. Apparently, it's very popular in Utah. Not popular anywhere else. I'm telling you. Just check it out. Check my work. Check my work. I almost put the pictures on X, but then I thought, no, then people will think I'm working. I don't want people to think I'm working because I wasn't working. I was just having fun. Just having fun. This article, police, keep losing their jobs for using flock cameras to stalk people. Advocates say it's too easy to abuse automated light plate reader technology. I saw this article and I thought, what in the world? What's going on here? Because flock cameras play a role in this case. In fact, we just watched a preliminary hearing where absolutely no flock camera footage was shown. There was no data was discussed. Over the weekend, I got a call from a friend of mine who lives in the same town I do, same small town I do. And he said, there are flock cameras all over the place. Every avenue in and out of town and all through the town. You cannot move in this town without being picked up by flock cameras. If you're on the run, not on the run, if you're out running errands, the flock cameras are picking you up left and right. And then I saw this headline and I thought, well, what the hell's going on here with the police? Flock cameras, solar-powered automated license plate readers weighing less than 3 pounds and designed to be unobtrusive, can be found on 80,000 street corners throughout the country. Company behind the cameras built an $8.3 billion business empowering officers to track people's movements. Well, wouldn't that have been convenient in this case? We wouldn't have had to look at Miss Noble's blurry underwater-looking Nest camera footage. We could have just pulled up a flock camera and said, here's where we saw Tyler Robinson last. This is his license plate. This was his car moving. Here's a picture of it. Here's the data from the license plate reader. We got none of that. Nationwide, flock cameras log billions of license plates each month. And now dozens of reports are emerging of police using the cameras not to solve crimes, but to stalk their partners and exes. Over a 2-month period in 2025, Milwaukee police officer Josue Ayala searched the license plate number of someone he was dating over 200 times, according to court documents. He also searched for his partner's ex. That's kind of psychotic, if we're being honest. Another Milwaukee officer, Taranji Chapman, was assigned to investigate Ayala's case. Ayala was charged with misconduct, resigned, and was sentenced to 1 year's probation, as he should have been. That's abusing the technology. Then this week, Chapman too was charged. The guy who was investigating the guy who was abusing flock cameras was charged with abusing flock cameras. He was charged with misuse of GPS information. While investigating Ayala for abusing flock cameras, he allegedly was engaged in the exact same misconduct, using the technology to track people in his own life. Is that why we don't have any flock camera footage of Tyler Robinson? Was everybody in Utah doing the same thing? Stalking their exes, stalking their girlfriends? They were too busy stalking all these people to say, you know, we have a murder suspect. We ought to see where he's been. He drove 4 hours to get here and 4 hours home. Surely there's flock data all over Utah of this guy. All up and down the interstate, whatever the interstate number is, I think 15, maybe something like that. All up and down Interstate 15, all over Orem, all over St. George, all over Washington. He should be everywhere. It would have been a pretty open and shut case if you're being honest. If you're trying to prove probable cause, we can use the testimony of a guy who thinks he's a cat. Meow. Lance Twiggs. Meow. We can use Catboy. Or we could use flock cameras. Isn't that what they're supposed to be for? Isn't that why we have them? To track crimes? Wouldn't that be the ideal scenario in which to use them? Not because some sergeant's trying to get his rocks off, wondering where his girlfriend is during the day while he's on shift, but to actually track suspected murderers? See who committed the crime? But that's not how they get used, apparently. That's not how they get used. Either that or there is no flock footage. In fact, if they go to trial and don't introduce flock footage, I think by now they're so ubiquitous. An affirmative defense just might be, they don't even have me on flock. That couldn't have been me. If it had been me, they'd have brought in the license plate. They said he was here at 4:15 a.m. He was here at 4:27 a.m. He was here at 5:13 a.m. He was here at 6:15 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, you can just track that timeline, and it takes him right to Orem, Utah. And he pulls in right at 8:30 when we told you he was in the parking garage. And then we watch him drive down and get a ribeye. And then we watch him drive right back up to Orem to check on the old weapon, Granddaddy's 30-06. Here we have him looping around campus. I mean, my goodness, people. I think it becoming an affirmative defense. If I'm the defense lawyer, I'm raising it. I'm making the judge tell me I can't. I'm going to look at the exhibit list, and if they don't have any flock camera, I'm using that in my opening. You know what you're not going to hear, ladies and gentlemen? You're not going to see flock footage. You're not going to see any. Why? Because he wasn't there. You're going to see grainy underwater footage that may or may not be Bigfoot or space aliens. But you're not going to see flock footage that would put my client clearly at the scene. That's what I would do. And I would draw an objection and then make the judge tell me I can't say it. But we'll see. You never know. You never know. All right. Where was it? Oh, yeah. Lest you think there is no flock footage in Orem, Utah. Check this out. Check this out. It's rendering a map, ladies and gentlemen. Hold, please. Look at the number of flock cameras you would have to drive past in order to commit a crime in Orem, Utah. Just in this little view, we have 117 of them. We come down here all up and down the highway. There's 64 in this view. All up and down the highway. Here's the campus right here. We have 2 right here. That flock camera right there should have picked up or no, is that one? Yeah, that one right there should have picked up the chain gang taking Charlie Kirk to the hospital. But look, we got them all up and down the highway. You can't get away from flock cameras. Look at this. They got so many up here, it's turned orange. But all up and I don't know how I made that three-dimensional. Yeah, there we go. All up and down the highway, we've got them. Yeah. Oh, man. Not going to get through here without getting caught. Flock boy. You toasted going through there. That's right. Oh, Panguitch. Yeah, Panguitch. Yep, got hit going to Panguitch. Look at this. Just to get out of St. George and get up there, you're going to get hit with flock camera. So I expect to see some flock camera footage. I expect to see Tyler Robinson, 10-2, driving down the road. Well, maybe 2-0 because he's texting his plans to his lover. I don't know. We'll see. Let me show you real quickly, changing gears ever so slightly. You guys remember lying liar who lies, Andrew Kolvet, telling us his phone broke? I had so many text messages in the immediate aftermath after Charlie Kirk passed, my phone broke. You guys remember that? We didn't believe him. We still don't. I don't believe anything he says from this point forward. I've caught him in too many lies. But you remember that, right? Andrew Kolvet, first phone ever to break from excessive texting. The phones that are designed to text. That's what they're designed to do. Apple does decades of R&D in order to create a battle-hardened, text-capable phone. But Andrew Kolvet gets so many texts, that doggone phone broke. It reminds you of the old. It reminds you of the old joke about, oh no, officer, I don't have any guns. I lost them all in a boating accident. Yeah, doggone it. They're at the bottom of the ocean. Sorry, officer. You're more than welcome to go look. They're about 30 miles off the coast of Galveston. We were doing some deep sea fishing. Well, we have him on camera the next morning. And guess what he has? You see that? That's a phone. That's a phone. That's the next morning. We've got Tyler Boyer. We've got Andrew Kolvet. We've got a very healthy-looking Steve Bannon. Whose phone are you on? I thought your phone broke, dog. I thought your phone broke. So we have, that was 8 o'clock in the morning. What time does the Verizon store open? Your phone broke. What time did the store open so that you could go get a new phone? But that was between 8 and 9 a.m. That was between 8 and 9 a.m. But guess what? It's not sufficient for Andrew Kolvet, who we believe is in Salt Lake at this time with everybody else, to wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning Utah time and do a Steve Bannon hit. No, not done with that. We actually have him on the Benny Johnson show an hour later. There's Andrew Kolvet doing the Benny Johnson show. No word on whether his phone broke during that time. So we have you at 8. We have you at 9. And then we have him at 10 minutes after 11 o'clock. Oh gosh, what's the timestamp? 13:30. Is it 13:30? Yeah, 13:30. Now we have him on the Jack Posobiec show. Believe it or not. We have him on the Jack Posobiec show. Human Events. This is at a little after 10 o'clock. We didn't know at the time Jack Posobiec would turn out to be such a dishonest character either. Talking about 4K HD footage. But, go mourn. You're allowed to take the morning off after your boss dies. You can take the morning off. And if you're not going to take the morning off and you're going to later tell us your phone died because you don't want anyone looking at your phone, you don't have to have your phone on the table in front of you while you're with a very healthy looking Steve Bannon. You can hide your phone. You can put it in your pocket. But we're talking 8, 9, 10 in the morning here. We're not even 24 hours after Charlie Kirk was removed from this earth. Andrew likes to say he's Charlie's best friend or was Charlie's best friend or one of his best friends. Well, if my best friend and boss gets taken down I'm probably not doing 3 TV hits or podcast hits or whatever it is in hours 18, 19, and 20 after the event. That's probably, it's a little unbecoming if we're being honest. It's a little suspect. And then if I'm going to tell everybody I lost my phone, I'm probably not going to have my phone out on the table. I would be lying if I said I put any stock at this point in anything these guys said. I don't. I was hard on Andrew when we opened, but I was hard on him because I was so disgusted with being lied to so blatantly. And if I was lied to instead not by Andrew, but by the 3 sources who independently all 3 said, using almost identical language, frankly, that Erica wasn't with her kids, that her kids were somewhere else. Again, I don't know where they were, but I know all 3 of them said they were not in Utah with her. And they didn't go to DC either. If all 3 of them lied to me, well, then I'm upset with them. I don't think they did. This pattern of dishonesty, in my opinion, is evidence of guilt. Because the number one piece of advice I would give TPUSA at this point is you have to be clean about everything. You cannot be caught being dishonest at any point going forward. If someone asks you a question, you just answer it. Someone asked me a question on Twitter the other day. Viva, I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Fry. I hear it different ways. I'll be honest, I don't follow the guy. But he asked a question. He was like, are you splitting revenue with Diligent Dennis? I said, I don't even know his real name. Don't care. Never met him. Talk to him. I think he does good work. But no, absolutely not splitting revenue. Have no agreement whatsoever. There's no coordination. It's just he does a story. If I like it, I hit retweet. If I don't, I ignore it. Or if I don't see it, I ignore it. And then I said, how hard was that? You asked me a direct question. I gave you a direct answer. TPUSA should try that. They should try that. It would behoove them to develop a culture of honesty. Because like Richard Nixon, sometimes the real problem isn't the crime itself. The crime itself is a problem, but it's the cover-up is where everybody goes down. Cover-up. And cover-ups are often clouded in this environment of dishonesty. That's usually the evidence that something's being covered up. Something bad has happened. And then there's this dishonesty. You come home and the lamp is broken. Oh, I really liked that lamp. That was an expensive lamp. We've had that lamp for 20 years. You know, your mother and I got that lamp as an anniversary present. It's a nice lamp. It was a lamp we'd had our eyes on, but at the time we couldn't afford it. And someone took pity on us and bought us this lamp. It was several $100s, and we've carried it around from house to house that we've lived in because it's a sentimental piece. Who broke the lamp? Well, the second you catch someone in a lie, who do you think broke the lamp? The person who's lying. If one of your kids says, I wasn't here, I was at the YMCA playing basketball, you look and he was. Oh, must not have been him. And the other person says, well, I wasn't here, I was at the neighbor's house playing pickleball. Okay. You call the neighbor and say, hey, was my kid there today playing pickleball? They say, I hadn't seen your kid in a week. You haven't seen my kid in a week? Yeah, no. Is it possible my kid could have been there playing pickleball without your knowledge? No, because my kid's at camp this week. You wouldn't be playing pickleball alone in the backyard. Oh. Which one of them do you think broke the lamp? The one who was honest to you about where they were, or the one who lied? Let's say you have a third kid, and the third kid was like, no, I was upstairs listening to music, just enjoying the Saturday. Had my window open, was listening to the neighbor cut the lawn. There's something so soothing about a motor in the background, that little that hum of grass being mowed like 6 yards down. Something very soothing about that. I've always loved that sound. I don't like it at 7 a.m. next door, but they don't do that. But at 11 o'clock in the morning, a few doors down, and you've got the windows up, and it's just a beautiful, it's just like, it takes me back to my childhood when things were simple and I didn't have anywhere to be. And I didn't, summer just meant just exist for a couple of months. Such a soothing sound. Well, that kid doesn't really have an alibi, but guess what? They didn't lie to you either. You caught one of the kids in a lie. So you got to assume that's the kid that broke the lamp. And that's how I feel with Andrew. It's unfortunate, but that's how I feel with Andrew. He's been caught in a lie so many times. He's been caught with his stories that don't check out. He's been caught feeding alibis through discredited or low-budget people who are known hacks. But if you want to get an alibi out, just put it on your dadgum timeline or text it to someone. Like if Candace is asking for an alibi, text her the alibi. Don't get it out through someone no one's ever heard of, some rando named Gary from West Virginia, or someone named House and Habit from wherever the heck House and Habit lives. No one's ever heard of these people. How do we know they're not just making it up? How do we know we can put any faith or any stock in it? We don't. We have no idea. If you're going to put words in a surgeon's mouth, you better make sure the surgeon isn't going to call and discredit you. You better make sure the surgeon's not going to call people and say, I didn't have that conversation with him. I had that conversation with her. But if you're gonna lie about something, make sure we can't find out the truth. Make sure every single person who works at the TPUSA headquarters is a friendly. Make sure they're not going to sell you out. Make sure every single person who is on the ground with you in Utah is a friendly. And they're not going to sell you out. Because they did. Because they did. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but they did. Because the reality is they don't like you guys. They don't. They lie to you and tell you they like you. They lie to you and tell you they like you. They don't. And they think you guys had something to do with this. That's why they're talking. Now, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying anyone in particular had something to do with it. I'm just saying that's the message I'm getting from the people closest to you guys. They don't trust you people. And the number one reason I'm told they don't trust you is they've caught you in more lies than I have. They read what you write online. And they say, well, that's not true. And if they'll lie so easily. Remember Andrew Charlie texted you and said, we don't lie. Not I don't lie, not please don't lie on my behalf. We don't lie. Well, Charlie's not here anymore. But you still shouldn't lie. Still shouldn't lie. You should come clean on that tweet and say, oh, I was misunderstood. I'll give you an out. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It's come to my attention. People assumed I was talking about her kids. She was not with her kids. She was with her family. With Charlie's parents, who she very much considers still family, is still family. The parents of her grandchildren, she was with her dear sister, her nieces and nephews, who she loves. I never intended to insinuate she was with her children, and to the extent someone misunderstood what I said, I apologize. It won't happen again. I'll try to be more precise in my language going forward. I realize there's a lot of attention on this case. And poor communication could make it look like I'm being dishonest, and I'm not. So I apologize. Just wanted to clarify that. If you have any questions, let me know. I would accept that. But what I won't accept is you continuing to leave these dishonest statements up, or at least statements that you know now are leading people to believe things that aren't true. And they're going around calling me a liar and telling me I have my story wrong when I don't. Very much right on this. I think. At least I have 3 reasons to believe I'm right. Two of them are very close to you guys. I don't know if I'd say on the payroll. I don't know. You guys, everyone's a contractor. I have no idea who's on. I would assume the chief operating officer would be on the payroll, but I would have been wrong. I would have assumed the PR guy would be on the payroll, but I would have been wrong. I would assume Blake Sneff, who's traveling with Charlie and prepping him for the debate, that he would be on the payroll, but I would be wrong. Apparently he works for some radio company and someone else works for some independent. You have your own media company, Andrew. It's a weird arrangement if we're being honest, but whatever. I come back to this too. I think you should let people know where she was this weekend, what she was doing, who she was talking to, and why. Because it reeks of desperation. Reeks of desperation. Not just to me. If you've liked it, hit the like button. If you want merch, Real Baron Podcast at realbaronpodcast.com. And I will roll through some of your comments. If you comment from this point forward, I may or may not get to it. I do have time to get through, I believe, all the comments up to this point. And I will try to get to as many as I possibly can. I may be able to get to all of them. The last few shows I have been able to. There were a couple shows last week where I was not able to. But I should be able to get through everything that's up there now. And may still have time to get through everything that comes in after. We'll just see how it goes. But let's, let me make them a little bigger for me. Let's roll through some of these with your permission. Sleuths of the World. Find out where the first flock cameras were installed. It might give us clues as to where the hidden military foreign bases are in our communities, because Orem, Utah should be insignificant compared to other cities. Okay. Duly noted. Hi, Baron. I got my early birthday present from my best friend yesterday. This is a High IQ Outfit t-shirt. Shout out to Kelly. Kelly, great gift. More of you should get that for you. You can get it at realbaronpodcast.com. You make the loss of Charlie less painful as we all wake up to a world our children should not inherit. I physically grieve a man I never met, and I believe it's because what we lost was the voice of our moral future. Thank you, sir, for paving a path towards truth. Boy, I don't think you knew how prescient that would be when you wrote it. But that's what my whole show's about today. The fundamental levels of what I perceive as dishonesty are just too much. It's just too much. For kids weren't worth it, just ignore it. Or just say they were. Say they weren't, rather. Just be honest. New challenge to TPUSA. Just be honest. Maybe you can't. Maybe you can't be honest. And that's a real problem if you can't. If you guys have gotten yourself in a situation where you cannot be honest, that's a tough situation to be in. I wouldn't work at a place like that. What's your best advice for newlyweds? Just married. Pop culture will destroy your marriage. Ashley. Since you're a woman asking, treat your husband like a dog. What do you do to earn loyalty from a dog? You pet them, you feed them, you tell them they're a good boy. And that's going to be the most loyal dog you'll ever have. And they're going to love you. And the dog doesn't require anything. He's just going to come in and start petting and he's just going to come in and be a wagging a tail and everything. And you don't require anything of your dog. You just start loving on it. You start petting it. That's my advice. That's my advice. I have a couple books I would read. What's the hold on. Oh, please. It's called His Needs, Her Needs. I'm a big believer in that book. It's a little old-fashioned, but I'm a huge believer in that book. Mrs. Coleman and I read that during a rocky time in our marriage, and it was excellent. Excellent. First ever Super Chat. Just happened to catch Baron live while on vacation with the fam in Nashville. Go Max. Christ is King indeed. Thank you for all you do to bring us factual information. Appreciate you. I do my best. And when needed, I make corrections. Hopefully it's not often we need them. Finally made Tier 1 membership. Thanks, Baron, for all you and Daisy do. There should only be one tier of membership. I didn't know there was more than one. You're welcome. You're welcome. Christ is King indeed. From the beginning, when I saw the evil expression on RC's face, could the gadget he had under his sleeve have sent a signal to a detonator? Maybe. I don't know. If David Hull is corrupt, don't worry. David Hull was promoted into a position where he would have to investigate David Hull. Oh, really? I just want to know where he's from. Like, are you from Australia, mate? New Zealand, mate? You a Kiwi? You British? You fundamentally British? If I were to give memberships, can someone explain how to do it and how it works? I'm not super tech savvy. I'm not either. I think when you click the little $sign, when you're given a when you're in your comment section, you click $sign. I think one of the options is to give a membership, but I really don't know. I have given them, so I know I've been able to figure it out in the past. I have dropped membos. I had a conversation with, well, I won't say who. I don't know that he wants me to out him for having this conversation. But we talked about supporting other creators and people supporting us. And I said, buddy, it's essential. Because if you don't support the people you like, they can't afford to do this. And if you, so I said, I make a monthly budget. And I write down when I give somebody a gift. I gave one last night to Dom. I don't give a Dom. That comes off the list. And I have a monthly budget. And I try to, make sure if I'm watching a show and I realize I haven't given to the show in 2 or 3, 4 weeks, I'll drop them a little gift. And that's that the budget does two things. A, it keeps me from giving too much because you got to support a family. But it also keeps me from not giving enough because I got to support creators. I got to make sure the people that are providing content that I'm helping them out so that they can continue to provide good content. 2, Dan Flood's signals. Get ready, set, go. Roger? Have you looked at after Utah flights to see if security flew for debrief of Charlie's unaliving? OPS always debrief. We've looked at every flight we can find. Yeah, we're flight lookers. Hi, everyone. Glad to be a member for 5 months. Love you, Baron and Family. Crisis King indeed. Thank you for your 5 months of membership. I genuinely appreciate it. Hope everyone has a blessed day. Like, subscribe, and buy some awesome merch. Become a member if you can. We're doing our best. I noticed a lot of these that came in before I started. 3, guy half hiding a gun was loading around while he waited for 2 or 3 others to walk around looking for something. What? I don't know. I didn't know who you're talking about. Thank you for being such a good role model of what a father and grandfather looks like for my son. Love from Carvel family in Australia, mate. Christ is king indeed. The best Australian I got. Let's go, B. The gospel today was very poignant. Keep going with the truth. We need you. Let's toss the weeds into a fiery furnace. Truth will prevail. Our priest gave a good homily today on the weeds and the wheat. It was good. It was good. He said some things I hadn't heard before. It was well done. Speaking of weeds, started smoking weed when I was 14. I'm now 44 and desperately want to quit, but I can't. Starting to affect my income, and as a single mother, I have to find the willpower. Please pray for me as I try to get sober. Love you guys. Christ is king indeed. I think one of the cruel mistruths of our generation is that marijuana is not addictive. It very much is. I only follow, and thank you for that, very kind. I only follow truth tellers. One is Julian Dory. He's pushing the hardest on the Einstein files. Glad to hear you may be joining him on his podcast. Yeah, we spoke for an hour, maybe an hour and a half the other day. Talked about a lot. Sharp guy. Enjoyed speaking with him quite a bit. Wanted to get a little idea about his worldview and background. I think he wanted the same from me. And I think we'll try to make a show work in the not too distant future. So, can't say precisely when, but I think in the not too distant future, we'll do a show together. And I think it'll be good when we do. I think it'll be good. Baron, your number one fan in Dominican Republic here. What do you think about TR being in custody before 3 p.m. on 9/11? Love you so much. I expect my number one fan to know my thoughts on that. I've given a lot of content on it. I think it's highly possible. Before 3 p.m., that's an awfully specific time. So, I don't know that I can say with certainty before 3 p.m. I feel pretty confident saying before 6 p.m. And I know that the phrase early afternoon has been used by the family, and I don't know how you interpret that. That's kind of subjective. But thank you. And truth must prevail. What's done in the dark will always come to light. Always, you say? Always? Can the judge be compelled to make a statement of fact about the alleged HD 4K video to set the record straight? No, he cannot. Purple. I don't know what that means. I know you talk about this stuff. Garbeat is completely unhinged. I am so lost tonight. Is there like a carbon monoxide leak in here? Am I missing something? He's actually threatened Candace yesterday. Oh, you're talking about Gare Bear. Oh, okay, yeah. I'm a dangerous person, and I'm going to take her down. It's time for a RO. Christ is king indeed. Did he say he's going to take her down? That's sort of violent sounding. I don't think you should say stuff like that. My mother smoked. She lived to be 105 years old. I don't recommend it. I mean, I recommend living to 105. I don't recommend smoking. Well, maybe I recommend living to 105. I don't know what it's like being that old. I've got an aunt who's close to that. She's a great aunt. I think she's about 104, 105. She's still moving around. You got good genes. Watch out. I'm going to be around a while. Coming for you. I'm going to take you down. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to say that. Hey, Baron, celebrating this day. We would love a shout out to our grand jury son, Jimmy. He's 6 months sober today. Praise the Lord. Christ is king indeed. Jimmy, keep going. Keep going. You're halfway to a year. Amazing. You're past the hard part. Visited my sister in Chicago last week. She had only heard the Fed slop. After 30 minutes of your show, she's completely convinced it's just that, Fed slop. Thank you, Baron. In as little as 30 minutes, you too can be an anti-Fed slopper? I wonder what show that was. What show did you say? Last week? I'm wondering which one it was. Woo! I wonder why it was so loud outside. I just looked and realized there's torrential storms over. Sounds like, I don't know if you can hear it through the mic, but I hear it through my ears. Noise gate may be keeping it from you, but it's loud. You are my favorite gay streamer. Gay meaning happy, sir. Gay meaning happy. And I'm very gay. Very happy. Very happy. Someone's going to clip that out of context and it's going to go viral. I've been so sick with heart failure and AFib. First time I felt good in days. Thank you, Baron. God bless y'all from East Tennessee. Jesus Christ is king. Sorry to hear that, Katie. Katie Bug. I didn't know you had that situation. Andrew to the front of the class, please. Yeah, Andrew. Just wanted to say how much I love the show. My Chihuahua and I, Pablo, watch you every chance we get. Please say hello to my good boy Pablo and my boyfriend Josh. Christ is king indeed. Josh, I hope you take a higher priority than Pablo. I kid. Pablo and Josh. Howdy. Asked before when you were sick, could you use the Rode mic on, in, and outside a shirt? I want to hear the difference. Thank you, Baron. Much love. I just put it up yesterday. I cleaned my office yesterday. It looks spectacular, by the way. I got my, you can't see it on the thing, I don't think. I got my Kennedy poster that Cohen film sent me months ago. It finally came back. I had to get some specialized person to frame it because it had needed some kind of protective glass that has UV shielding and heat shielding, and it's shatterproof and all. Cohen, I'm taking care of it, brother. I'm taking care of it. But anyway, it took forever to get back because they had to get the special glass. And so it's up now. It's up on the wall, but it's like right there. You can't see it. But I'm very proud of it. Very proud of it. But when I did that, I cleaned the office. And so I put the Rode mics up. Next time I get them out, I'll play with them. Yeah, I'll turn them on next time. Left a retooling session with Governor Marks to be here. He's not the governor yet. I'll be honest. I haven't voted Democrat. I voted Democrat at the state level for one office two offices back in 2014 because the Republicans were horrific. And one of the Democrat running for state office was my law partner. I didn't feel bad voting for him. If I had a friend that didn't vote for me, he wouldn't be my friend. And the other one was running against a literal demon. So I voted against that person as well by voting for the Democrat. But if I was in Colorado, I would strongly, I don't even know who the Democrat is, but I cannot imagine they're worse than Richard Marks or whatever his name is. No, Richard Marks is a singer in the 80s. Victor Marks. My oldest daughter is going into labor for our first grandchild tonight. How do you know? Oh, she's already in labor? And you're watching podcasts? Get to the hospital, girl. Pray for Mrs. Thibault. Love this show. Got my new RBP mugs and shirts as I get ready to share Barron with family as I head into extended family vacation. Christ is king indeed. Your family's going to be better for it. I can assure you. Congrats on the grandchild. Let me know how it goes. People donate suits after they pass to funeral homes to give it to people who can't afford, or in case of emergency, suits lightly worn and outdated, not usual to help tall people be successful, aka suits. I no longer worry about where the suit came from, but I know for a fact now it's not his. That's all I'll say. Do you think they scoped out the campus prior to announcing the UVU event, and that's why they announced it so late, so they wouldn't go back and look at camera footage of them checking the place out? I don't know. Maybe. Hey, my B, can I get a birthday shout out from my number 2 fave, who follows right after the principal, Miss Candace Owens? B and Daisy, you are both doing such impressive work. Thank you. Shout out to Tiff Mitt. Happy birthday, Tiff Mitt. Tiff Mountain? Tiff Montana? Like Hannah Montana? Left my backpack at the Quick Quack in a rush to catch this show. Well, at least you didn't leave it at the bus stop. Thank you truly for restoring some of my faith in humanity. There are better uses for your prayer, but if you have a second, please speak to the big guy for me. I've been searching for him my whole life and would love to know him. That's a beautiful prayer, Blue Lioness. It reminds me of the centurion at the foot of the cross. You know, he says, "I believe, help me in my unbelief." Not at the foot of the cross. Where was that? It was after the girl got raised or something. I'm going to go back and figure that out. But he says, "I believe, help me in my unbelief." It's beautiful. Andrew is the friend and ghost that betrayed for money. La película? Is that the word? La película? Ghost? Yeah. Then he got dragged out by demons. Andrew Kolvet and Stacey Sheridan equals Bonnie and Clyde. Has anyone connected dots in their past and common relationships? I haven't. Stacey scares me. If I'm being honest. I get a lot of people like, why don't you go after Stacey? Okay. She scares me. Have you seen her hair? I don't fight with women with that kind of hair. No way. I love the merch. Can we get some stickers? Thank you for all your wisdom. Go Max. Christ is king indeed. We've looked into stickers, and basically they're like a sheet of small stickers. We can't find any normal size stickers, so we will keep looking. But the places we've looked, we've not been able to find the right stickers. But yeah, we're efforting. Hey, Baron, about timeline. What if there's no autopsy? Maybe no embalming because of Jewish beliefs. Also, thank you for all you Daisy and Nurse Casey do. Go Max. Christ is King Vicky. Christ King indeed. I think he was embalmed in Utah. I'm pretty sure he was embalmed in Utah. Come on, Andrew. I'll show you where the detention is. Oh, Andrew's in trouble. You're going to Saturday school. I had to do that one time. Okay, I had to do it more than once, but I had to do it one time. There was one time I had to do it, but I had to do it more than once. Time to promote. Candace to Dean and Baron the Professor. Closed captions on replay uses the wrong principal. Though we are all principled. Oh, she's the principal. L-E? No, it's principal. Principal. Your pal. Your principal is your pal. Whatever was released from that spy plane Hades has something to do with the death of Charlie Kirk and the reaction of the necklace and Mike, some new weapon involving electromagnetic. Christ is king, indeed. Love you, my B and Daisy. I am not convinced anything was released from the plane, but I don't know that. I'm not convinced of that. Sorry, EK, your Epstein class. Where are your kids? They're gone. No one sees a nanny in tow. It is freaking me out also. So grateful for this community. Thank you to Daisy and you, Daisy and Nurse Casey. Your heart is in this, and it shows. Really loving the clips and share hype as often as possible. Keep it up, gang. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, if you've not checked out Baron Coleman Clips, the Clips channel, it's fun. It's a fun channel. And Baron, I was the one who pointed out that when she did an update on X from another time zone. Christ is king indeed. I don't know what you're talking about. Does X give time zones? I thought X gave your own time zone. I have to look at that. Do we know the time TR was photographed at the Dairy Queen? Based on the assumed time, could TR have driven down to Cowboy Smokehouse for steak dinner? No, we don't. There's no timestamp on that photo. The photo came through the grapevine. I don't think it came directly from like the Dairy Queen server directly to Candace. In other words, she didn't log in and grab it. So if the Dairy Queen photo is authentic, which no reason to doubt it, but if it's authentic, we have no idea what time it was. We were given a time, supposedly from somebody along the way, but we have no idea the veracity of that. Theo Vaughn's most recent episode with Aaron Brockovich was a great listen. Main topic was data centers. May God continue to bless you and your family. Thank you for continuing your mission for the pursuit of truth. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Woohoo, I made it. Non-crazy-eyed widow Didi Da Vinci here in Colorado. My virgin experience of Baron was no joke, the Joe meltdown of lack of logic. Thanks, Ian. A bow and a curtsy to you, fine sir, for your tenacity for the truth. Go Max, Christ is King indeed. You know what's funny about that? Someone posted that Joe meltdown the other day, and they like tried to make me look bad with it. I thought that went viral, and like you could go back and track, and you'll see a little bump in viewers right after that. I didn't do it on purpose, but it didn't hurt. I don't know what avoid the clap. But always good advice. Always good advice. You must swipe a card in a parking garage UVU. Where's Tyler's receipt? Surely prosecutors would have presented as evidence. We have raised that question. Have you looked into fluoride in water? I have. Been bothering me. I remember the day, the tragedy, seeing many videos of people posting in real time. One of them being AK wearing a red shirt and physically stopping a guy from, that wasn't Andrew Kolvet. So here, again, we have to be better than them. We're going to say that somebody's in a picture. We better be doggone sure it's them. We know precisely who was that. That was a guy named Cooper Brown. I think his name was Cooper Brown. It was not Andrew Kolvet. He was in no red shirt. He was not stopping anybody from talking. So we got to be very cautious with our language. And I'm not getting on to you. I'm just urging precision in what we say. Nice opening Friday on Secret Tech. Thank you. It's cool. You know the Philadelphia experiment. Thank you. Does that mean you know about the legendary Townsend Brown? No, it does not. Sorry, I was giving you an avalanche of yeses and then I had to ruin it. Side by side, stop before exit, let white SUV exit lot first, even though side by side had right away because it was going straight. SBS also there to block traffic. Yeah, I don't know. It's a good question. Until one of the astute viewers pointed it out, I was unaware. I didn't even consider the side by side. And then when they mentioned it, I thought, man, it did sit there on that sidewalk for like 8 minutes before activating at the exact same time the other car activated. At the exact same time, Spider-Man was rappelling off the roof. Man, it's loud outside. If the power goes out, Jesus loves you. I don't think it will, but if it does, I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Watching an early EK interview, she said something like, come after me, but not after my Turning Point or Charlie Kirk show family. Interesting, she differed early on, knowing Blake's employer. Christ is King indeed. Yeah, especially considering all the different businesses that are run. It's not just Turning Point and the Charlie Kirk show. There's lots of businesses. So it's interesting she differentiated. Good call. Keep up the fantastic work, B. You are a shining light, helping Candace get to the truth behind how and why Charlie Kirk was taken down on September 10th. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Appreciate that. I will do my best to keep it up. Thank you, our humble host, for taking a dive into the side-by-side. Humbled to be your astute listener. I told you it was an astute listener, viewer, whatever. Thank you, E-Train. Glad to have made your acquaintance. Got goat water. Says bottled in Wachita. Is that how you pronounce it? It says it on the bottle. How to Wachita. Say it on the front of the back. It says it on here somewhere. Yeah, Washita. The Washita Mountains. Wanted to hear you say Washita. From Luckett's, Virginia. It's on the bottle. There's a pronunciation guide. It's delicious. My daughter, my 19-year-old, came over yesterday or the day before. I can't remember what day it was. But she asked, she's like, do you have any cold water? And I was like, I got some goat water. She's like, is it cold? I was like, well, it's room temperature. I said, but it doesn't have to be cold. It tastes great. She's like, I don't like warm water. I was like, it's not, you'll be surprised. Most water, you have to cool down to kill all the terrible taste out of it. Not goat water. Tastes as good room temperature as it does cold. I'm telling you guys, I'm onto something. The criticism comes from a man who manufactured a video of a deceased man and put words into his mouth. Did he apologize for that? He's a narcissist, so probably not go max. I don't know what you're talking about, manufacturing a video of a deceased man. Put words. I'm not familiar with that story. Did they do that? I'll have to check into that. I'm not familiar with that. Keep it real, my B. Number one fan in Prattville, Alabama. Fountain City. Funny story about Prattville. When we lived in Montgomery, we used to go up to Prattville, and we would fill up like 5 or 10 gallon coolers full of that water that comes out for free in Prattville. You talk about good water. Holy mackerel. It's called the Fountain City. They just have these natural artesian wells all over town that just spit water all day. It's like you're in ancient Rome. And it's the best water in the world. Comes out like 55 degrees, and it's just crystal clear and tastes so good. Sorry for the aside. Keep going, Max. I re-listened to the Adam Bartholomew Life is Driving versus BC today. It's worth going back every now and then. Yeah, that was a good interview. The sea was angry that day, my friends. 2 of 2. I also remember reading his bio on your show, and he referred to magic saving him while he overheard arguing as a young fella. Since you were discussing AK, this has been bothering me too. Christ is king indeed. Well, I don't remember that. Magic. The Gathering? Episode 1 is live on my channel. Jesse on Fire already on board. Each episode gets sharper. Receipts only, no filler. Okay, thank you. Duly noted. Jesse, good guy. I work with the autistic and intellectually disabled people. Last couple of weeks have been really rough for me. Can you please meow for me? I know that will bring a smile to my face. Unlike Lance, I can't meow on command. I did meow earlier. I hope you heard it. Meow. That's Lance under oath. AK is always lying. Well, I don't know about always, but too often. And the lying liars who show his lie on the student count. The next he said what he was thanking God for the growth and attributed it to God. Blasphemy, unforgivable in commandments. Christian orgs would remove him from speaking role or more. Yeah. That's what happened. That's what happened. I mean, that's what happened. Casket video. Did they post that so the public didn't question whether he had been cremated? Also, it looks like Charlie's Twitter stops in July before he died. I don't know about that. I didn't think it did. Maybe. Blessed be Baron. Thank you for your passion, your honesty, your integrity, and humor in these dark days. Got my A Curious Mind, Crow T. Happy to support such sterling journalism and high IQ outfit. Peace to you, Paul. Thank you. Very kind of you. I'm confused why the administration hasn't distanced themselves from TPUSA. They look just as guilty, aligning with the emotional asset and her minions. Christ is king indeed. I don't know either. Blandrew, yes. Bland and yes, attention used to be drawn to the CK show Drew, past tense. I like that. Perfect, my B, are courageous, adored, and humbled. Adored. Thank you. Adored. Adoration for God alone, please. Andrew may have the Fed sloppers, but you have an army of us behind you, Baron. Keep up the truth speech. Thank you. Christ is king indeed. I will do that. Baron, a blurred person runs from the Losi Center to the white car. Your 717 video. Pause at 4719. Look at the top row of cars between the third and fourth car on the left side of the screen. Yeah, that other people have mentioned that. But Baron, so glad you and Julian Dory are going to meet. Thank you for all you do. Christ is king indeed. Yeah, thank you. I'm looking forward to it. Baron, please tell me you read M. Scott Peck's People of the Lie. I have not. I hate to disappoint you like that. Truth always wins. Get him, Baron. Love the show. Thank you. Hi, Baron. Why haven't you or Candace commented on Ana Escobar's findings? I've been looking forward to your comments on them. They're so damning because I can't replicate them. I've tried a few, and the few that I've been able to replicate, and granted, I haven't done them all, but I just grabbed a few, and I'm having trouble finding a signal that doesn't replicate in other years. So unless we're going to say they planned this, that these same people were searched in 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, Now, not all of them are that way, but they were enough bouncing around that I had trouble replicating it, and I just don't have time to redo all her work. And I've not found a concise summary of the work, and that's probably the biggest issue I have with trying to sit down. You know, it's an elephant, and I don't have time right now to eat an elephant. I'm eating my own elephants trying to produce shows every day. But I think those two are probably your answers. No concise summary that I can just kind of like look at and say, here's everything she claims to have found. And no ability to replicate the few names. You know, I kind of clicked around till I saw or heard her discussing one, and I went and tried to replicate it. And I wasn't able to do it to my standards. Now, that's not to say that my standards are the only standards that are valid. There may be other standards that are valid, but when I did the Google Trend searches, I did them a particular way. I used a particular elimination technique. And there were a lot of things I found that I just didn't cover because I wasn't able to sufficiently eliminate the noise component to it. That's why. I'm not knocking her at all. I love her work, but that's why I haven't really covered it in depth. If I got a summary, maybe it would help, and it would cut down a lot of the time. Unrequited love story is still flaciating, and it's hard. Please pray for me again that I can move on without sorrow, or that something finally shifts in a good direction. Please, P.S. The fluffy made my week. That's good. That's good. That's good. Well, it's bad, the unrequited love story, but the fluffy part's good. You know, sometimes infatuation is an addiction, and you just have to break the addiction. So, I'll pray for it. The fall from that big stack of money is going to be painful. Ooh. We're talking about Andrew. Why is there no video of her kids with her at the funeral home or in the car with her hanging out the window with a necklace? Well, I mean, I'm not going to knock her for that. You know. On Candace Clip Friday, 5:52. FT says Seth Dillon called him. Wasn't Seth in the Hamptons pressuring Charlie? Was Seth having lunch with Ben that day? Is that how Ben's security was communicating with Charlie's? Did he say Seth called him in the SUV while Charlie was still alive, like Ben said that he got updated, or his security team got updated? Because that's a lot of phone calling, if so. If he called him later in the day, I mean, he probably called a lot of people. In truth, the rumor, Andrew's wife has filed for divorce and been living in Arizona alone, allegedly, for a while now. I have no idea. I don't keep up with his personal life. I don't wish him any harm. And I don't hope his wife leaves him or anything. I would take no joy in that. I would actually have sorrow for him and for her and for the kids. So don't mistake me. I'm not wishing ill will towards him or anyone else. I just want him to be honest. That's all. I'm not confident EK has ever met her children. Oh, I am. Seeing pictures of them. I bet AK clenches at the mere mention or sight of our humble host name, and I'm not talking about his teeth. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I hope you're talking about his teeth. Lufa has entered the chat. Oh, no, not the Lufa. Yeah, the Lufa. RB, number one fans from Fairburn, South Dakota. Population 62, +2 since we moved here. What if the public did a... Man, my family moved there. We could really up the population. We'll raise it by like 11%. What if the public did a Karen Reed protest at the TR trial? It helped her. You're the man. Love and Our Lady protect you. Christ is King indeed. What if the public did a Karen Reed protest at the TR trial? I think that's a premature plan because we don't know what Tyler Robinson's alleged to have actually done. And if Tyler Robinson was there that day planning on committing a crime, I don't want to protest for his I'm in a real bind in that situation. Right now, I don't know if he killed Charlie Kirk. I don't think he did. I'm pretty confident he didn't, but I don't know, truly. I'm open to the fact that the trial may blow my mind. I don't think it will, but, I remain open. But just because he didn't pull the trigger doesn't mean he didn't play an essential role or at least have some knowledge and agree to go along with it. And I don't know whether he did or not. I'm not suggesting he did. I'm not suggesting he didn't, but I don't know. And without knowing that, I'm not protesting for anyone. I'm not protesting on anyone's behalf. I just want to know the answer to what happened to him. Charlie. About the pew-pew in one of the Tyler's pants, wouldn't it be hot if it just fired? Well, for a second it would be, but he didn't shove it back in his pants on the roof. It was in his pants on the way to the building, whoever's pants it was in, and that's allegedly too, because we really don't know. I can't remember. Do we know for a fact who set up Charlie's tent equipment at campus? I don't. Not off the top of my head, anyway. Baron, have you seen Stu Peters talking about the Google image search at Fort Huachuca? If so, thoughts? I just gave those a moment ago. I hope you heard those. Christ is king indeed. Who benefits more, the deep state or the Democrats, from him being gone? Fake Republicans? Who? I really wish everyone could stop entertaining TP 2.0 on all platforms. It will make them cray-cray. Kristen. Thank you, Critter. Who benefits from Charlie being gone? Truthfully? Right now? The Trump administration. Our greatest ally. He forgot Charlie. We don't lie, Andrew. Yeah, he forgot. Tate boys were arrested and extradited UK for it. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate that. Prayers for our daughter. She's 8 months pregnant, and her now ex recently kicked her out. We're so proud of how she's handling everything. May Jesus keep his hand on her and our granddaughter during this next chapter. Christ is king indeed. That sounds like a really tough run of luck there. I hate that. Tell her not to be scared. I know she probably is. Andrew's kind of a magician playing linguistic sleight of hand. It's amazing how easily some people can bend language instead of being direct and forthright. It's a handy skill for PR people. No, it's a handy skill for liars. If you intentionally leave someone with a misunderstanding and then they run with it and you see them running with it and you don't correct it, it's your fault. Where are TR's clothes? SBI said found in a wooded brush right on the UVU campus. In Lance's text, TR says they are with it in a towel. The prosecutors are relying on text. Why aren't clothes entered as evidence? I don't know. I mean, he had a backpack. Why didn't he just put his clothes in the backpack? Why stash your clothes? You got a backpack. Stick them in there. The only good thing about lying liars, and I don't even know if that's this agreed upon state of facts. I don't remember. The only good thing about lying liars who lie, we get to see Barron and Candace crash out on them like we like to. Max. I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm going to confront it when I see it, particularly when it causes me to bear the brunt of the lie. You still click on the EK firecracker butt videos? I don't. I haven't seen one in so long, but that's funny. But Mr. Coleman, have you seen the video of Charlie Cameraman? I have. Thank you. Would really like you to hopefully touch on the voting election China speech Trump gave the other night. Can you dumb it down for me? I didn't watch it. I saw highlights, but I don't know that I can dumb it down because I didn't watch it. I don't want to rely on somebody else's editing. Erica's biggest problem is that none of the public asked her to step in and be Charlie. So why does she feel the need to? I'm not going to get in her head, but I have ideas. But Bear on long-time listener, recent member, heard you are going to join Julian Dory on his show. When can we expect that to happen? Any chance of a Sean Ryan show since Candace went on recently? Well, I haven't been invited on the Sean Ryan show. I think if I knocked on his door, he'd ask me to leave. Julian and I have talked. We're pretty confident we'll be able to put a show together. I don't know the timing. I don't know the timeline of when that will, but it won't be long. I mean, it won't be 6 months. But I mean, it won't be this week. You know, it'll be sometime in the future, but it won't be too long. And I think we'll make it work. I think we saw Erica last night in Mooresville, North Carolina. Can fly to Concord and go to Trump Golf this way. Was at grocery looking upset to security with. Mooresville, North Carolina. Let me check some. I'll be the judge of that. Hold, please. Last night. Hold, please. Hold, please. Hold, please. Hold, please. I don't believe that's accurate. but I could be wrong. Where's Mooresville? North of Charlotte. If so, she's been there a while. Since the 14th. You sure last night? 18? 4 days in Charlotte. That's interesting. Can you email me any details you have on that? Like where and all that? Like what grocery store and all that? I'm very curious. Will you email me? realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Baron, I have to say you went scorched earth on AK and TPUSA. Wow. I commend the bravery and attentive detective work. You need to raise my guy. Christ is king indeed. I thank God and you for it. We need more like you. I just don't like being lied to, especially, or I don't like the lies when I catch the heat of them. If they want to lie in a way that doesn't involve me in any way, that's fine. That's their business between them and God. But when I catch the fallout from all their stupid minions and their sycophants, and I know for a fact that what they're saying is inaccurate, or I have strong reason to believe what they're saying is inaccurate, that bothers me. What did the fish say when he swam into a wall? Damn. Well, that's like D-A-M. No N there. Because there's a wall and a fish swimming. Did Blakey change his story on X Space because the camera captured a bald man that night? I can't get into Blake's head, but I certainly noticed that after the bald man driving was disclosed, he all of a sudden decided he was in Salt Lake and not Oral. When he was insistent in answer to 2 questions, he was in fact in Salt Lake. The Hamburger here. Please have some interaction with John Cullen about the drones and the Hades plane. Maybe a member show? That'd be wonderful and possibly helpful for all. Thanks for all you do. I appreciate the programming advice. I will take it under advisement, but I've never spoken to John Cullen. I don't know John Cullen. I'm not 100% sure how I would get in touch with John Cullen, and I don't know that I want to have that show because I've watched a lot of his stuff. I've never been convinced there were drones there that day. So I don't know. I mean, I'm going to bring him on and then I'm going to disagree with him the whole time. Unless he has some new information that could change my mind, and then maybe I would have him on. Our Baron is the GOAT. Thank you. If CK had a meeting with CO and texted his security the next day that I think she's going to kill me, TPUSA would 100% be investigating. Yeah, of course. As they should. We need Candace and Baron versus Laura Trump and AK live event. Laura Trump. I don't think I could debate her. I don't think I could talk to her. And I'm not like banging on everyone who's ever had plastic surgery. But that thing that they're all getting, like Kimberly Guilfoyle had it. Laura Loomer apparently may have had it. Laura Trump certainly had it. It's weird. It's like way overdone. Like you look like this all the time. I don't know why you'd want to look like this all the time. Actually, I don't want to look bigger. Why would you want to look like that all the time? It's so unnatural. Like way overdone. And I would have trouble like having a normal conversation with someone that looked like that. After watching Roger Waters on Tucker about the inaction of a real investigation into 9/11 after 26 years, I can't stomach the thought of Charlie's case dragging on indefinitely without the truth ever coming out. I go back to JFK. They're still looking at that 58 years or 63 years later. And RFK 58 years later. Just so you know, I made my videos in a way that, thank you. I appreciate that. Hey, I appreciate it. I genuinely do. But I don't love other people like sending me 3 messages about their own podcast. I don't do that to other people, and I appreciate it. Thank you. Bald man and the Three Stooges not only don't look torn up, but holy mackerel, they need to size up their jeans. Are you saying because they got muffin tops? Or they're just too skinny? I don't know. I know for a fact it was him wearing the red shirt physically stopped it. Still seeing Charlie Kirk is live is disturbing. It was not Andrew Kolvet. It was not Andrew Kolvet. He was not the guy in the red shirt stopping someone from talking. Period. We cannot state with certainty unless we know with certainty. And I'm telling you right now, that guy's name was Brown. Cooper Brown. I'm almost positive what that guy's name was. He was the guy manning the microphone for the guests. Like he was the guy telling Hunter Kozak, don't touch the mic. We know who he is. I know he worked at the Leadership Institute. I know he wasn't a UVU student. I know he wasn't a TPUSA employee. I know he was there on the at as a favor. We have to be better than they are. We have to speak with precision. Still seeing Charlie Kirk is live is disturbing. It is, but it's more believable than Tyler Robinson shot him with a 30-06 from the Losi Center. I will, in my mind, if I have to pick one of those two, if those are my only two options, I'm going with he's alive somewhere. And I don't know how, and I don't know how they pulled it off, and I don't know what they did, and I don't know where he is, and any of that. But I know it wasn't Tyler Robinson on 30-06 with the Losi Center, so I have to go with the field. I don't know any other way to say it. It's very disturbing. I hope it's not true, because that would be that kind of disturbing. No, not that I hope he's dead, but you know what I mean. Like, I hope it would take a real monster to fake your death and have all this fallout. Happy Sunday. Woke up this morning to 3 years of sobriety and celebrated my son's 9th birthday. God is good. Can you give Keegan a birthday shout out, please? Thanks, my B, and keep going, Max. I know your young son, who's now 9, is a better child, and you're a better parent for being sober for those last 3 years. So you keep going, Max. And hey, Keegan. After reviewing the footage of fragments from the bullet, looks like burnt fabric to me. Wondering you've seen or taken notice. I don't know what you're talking about. You're talking about the fragments that they sent the lab? They showed on picture? I don't think they look like burnt fragments. I don't think they look like burnt fabric. Dear Sir Edge, caused me to spit my water while driving in Friday when you demonstrated our hearing Frank's butt rubbing against his jeans. That is valuable evidence. Get that to Tyler's defense stat. Well, I just wanted everyone to know what they were hearing on the other end of the call. But Baron, have you noticed that AK always attacks CO when she's on vacay or during the weekend? Love you and RBP show. Yeah, they're cowards. They don't want to get smacked immediately after. So if Mikey and Danny Phillips still had backpack at hospital, whose backpack from TP was left on campus, not checked by lab-related. I don't know. Been asking the question. God bless you and your family. I really hope we find out who killed Charlie. Together we are strong. Love from Ireland. Love your show. Thank you. All the way from Ireland. What time is it? In the middle of the night in there. Apologies if you're getting there. But isn't it weird? They drove to surgery. If the story's true, you're familiar with the hospital layout, I think you'd rush to the emergency entrance. I've never rushed anybody who's been taken down in such a gruesome manner, so I don't know where I would. But it would be a little weird, to be honest. I thought Mikey was getting scrubs for everyone. That was the story. That's what they told us. That's the guy who was crying B and Billy interviewed. Brandy and Billy interviewed. I don't think so. I think that guy was walking around on the Life is Driving video afterwards. He had the tattoos and was on the phone. I think it's a different person. Hubby had a good question about the video of Blake, Mikey, and others walking in the hospital. He asked quizzically, what's in their pockets? They all have the same bulge in their side pockets. Oh. Why is your husband looking at their bulges? That's a serious question. Ma'am, the question's on the table. We're not tabling this. We need an answer. I will be the judge of this here. I will be the judge of this. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Wrong link. A bald man in the Three Pastures. Here we go. We'll all inspect bulges together, shall we? In the pockets. Get your mind out of the gutter, people. What's wrong with you guys? Oh. All right, here we go. See no bulge? Oh, let me pull the CC down. There we go. All right. Don't see anything there. Oh, he does have a bulge. He does have they all three do have bulges. What are they carrying? What is that? What in the world? Does Blake have it too? That's just a muffin top on Blake. No, he has one too. That's why I carry a Merce. I hate having stuff in my pocket. Hate it. Looks like they're smuggling plums, tennis balls, like in their pockets. Guys, get your mind out of the gutter. Good catch. His arm tattoo is the same. He was at UVU. How did we start talking about this guy? I don't know. I don't know what you're. I mean, I know who you're talking about, but I don't recall showing him tonight. Regarding Sneff's spaces on X, did anyone invite him to speak or be interviewed, or did he just decide to join a space and talk? Preliminary trial FOMO? Oh, I don't know. Everyone, please hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I don't believe Timpanogos has metal detectors upon entry, whereas Intermountain does. Could this be the reason Timpanogos was chosen? Couldn't leave backpacks in vehicle. Also could not have gotten through the metal detector. I don't know. Good question. Baron AK and Blake Neff seem low on the totem pole compared to others who could be involved. If the narrative they're presenting doesn't hold up, do you think they could end up making one of them the scapegoat? I'll tell you what, if I'm Blake Neff and I did stay in Orem and there was a bald man spotted driving a Challenger and I looked around and it was just me and three guys in a hotel room and they're saying a bald man and three passengers, I'm looking around going, how can we prove we didn't leave the hotel? Because this is bad news bears. That's what I would be doing. I stopped driving my side-by-side to watch this. Can you imagine if the obvious characters at TPUSA sat down in front of the exorcist priest and were asked questions? Thank you so much for all you do. I kind of want to get a little spritz bottle of holy water, spray him as I walk by. See if it sizzles. My son was 3 when we lost his dad. I'm grateful we were able to grieve together and that I was there to answer his questions. So pray for the kids. One day they'll look back on this season and my heart breaks for them. Oh, gosh. I do feel bad for his kids. Genuinely. Especially the boy. She never talks about the boy. Always talks about the girl. Didn't Mikey's dad say Mikey was there and covered in blood? Keep holding their feet to the fire. Liars are the bane of our existence. We must pray for them, pray they convert to honesty. That's a good question. If Mikey's walking through the parking lot with those 3 clowns, how was he doing any of the things he was said to have done? That's a really good question. He doesn't look particularly broken up in that image either. I don't know what time it was. I know what time we know it had to be before 2:30. Thank you for moving the start time 30 minutes so we can finish watching the World Cup. That's why I did that. I didn't particularly care, but I figured other people were watching it, and I was like, let them finish. I didn't know it was going to go into overtime. Utah has no corners, only placed medical examiners. Okay, duly noted. Thank you for watching the hospital video. It may not have been groundbreaking, but it is interesting info. Christ is king indeed, justice for Charlie. If it's true, it's interesting. There's no doubt. The question was about trans. My B, was that a sick? Oh, man, we talked about that 10 months ago. I don't know. Baron, 2 fan from Labrador, Canada. 2 fan. Christ is king indeed. I know what that means. Labrador. I think we already have one from Labrador. You might be second. Mr. B, how long before J.D. Vance and the GOP party realized that AK and TPUSA are hurting their cause for 26 and 28? In your opinion, thanks. I will say this. I would have trouble right now voting for them in light of everything going on overseas. Very much. I would very much struggle to vote for anybody responsible for what's going on overseas. Nevertheless, I would evaluate the two candidates and pick the best of them. But if they're still hanging around these clowns, I lose all faith. And that's just a fact. I lose all faith in whoever associates with these people. Lionel coined a name for EK. Professional widow. Works for me. Hey, Your Honor, we can't hear the clips. They like echoing or playing two different audios. Oh, sorry about that. I don't know why they're doing that. I'll check the audio settings before next show. I can't do it while I'm live. I mean, I can, but it'll take forever. First time live in a week. All caught up. Missed being part of the jury and missed being able to say thank you, Baron. Outstanding work from you and Daisy as usual. Thank you, Denise. Very kind. Very kind. If hospital's on lockdown, nobody coming in and nobody leaving. Yeah, but why? Why? If it's because of the guy going hospital to hospital, that was an FBI guy, apparently. Hi, Baron. I noticed in a few clips when DF steps forward, he steps onto a rubber mat, protecting him from some type of electric shock. I don't know. Well, I don't recall there being a mat on that platform he was standing on, though, if we're being honest. Tardy slip. Love you, B. Was I late? I pushed it back, and I don't know if I was late. Correction to Friday's episode where you claim no experience with Furry Whirl, but hilariously recall your episode last fall, finding yourself at a bar of furry convention. No Lance, rolling with laughter. Now, I didn't say I'd never been around furries. I did find myself in a bar in Irvine, California, full of furries, and it was bizarre. They actually were not terribly uninteresting people to talk to, frankly, but I said I never infiltrated. Never gone deep undercover in Furryland. But I found myself in a room full of them one time. Dan Flood got to Charlie Kirk before a drop of blood hit the ground. His response was way quick. He got to him 2 seconds and placed him down, not to cover him. I think that's an accurate rendition, if I recall correctly. Baron, LMFAO, to clarify, he has 2 natural hands. Now, you said that with a straight face. Yeah, well, I don't know. Talent knows no bounds, I guess. Number 1 fan in Harlan County, Kentucky. Bloody Harlan. Keep going, Max. Love you, B. Harlan County. Where's that? Let me look. Harlan County, Kentucky. Oh, that's in the hills. That's way east. What's the biggest city in Harlan County? Harlan? I was thinking there's a city I'd heard of. Well, good for you. Good for you all the way over in Harlan. But Baron, it would be awesome if someone could get their hands on some TR handwriting and match it up with the fake note that was shown in the pre-trial. It looked like it was a 3rd grade. Yeah, of course. But, you and everybody else had that same thought. I haven't seen any. I think they said Toyota Sequoia, not Corolla. So, again, this is very confusing audio. There were, early on, there was a Corolla mentioned, and it was they gave a license plate for it. That's the Corolla that was driven by Zach Qureshi. Then there was a Nissan Armada, and they said it could have been a Toyota Sequoia. But then they said, no, we think it's a Armada, and then an Armada pulls up with an FBI guy in it. So pretty confident it is. Blake Sneff looks like David Cross in Arrested Development. Please pull it up for the class. David Cross, Arrested. Oh. Talking about Fuke? Yeah. We've talked about that. He's a never nude. That's one of my very favorite shows. Only the episodes, the original ones, not the ones on Netflix. Not the ones Netflix did years later. Hey, Baron, doing a little girl math here. The math ain't mathing. Tia was seen at okay, so we don't know what time he was seen. We don't even know where the 638 came from. So we don't even know where the 638 came from. Could have been 638, could have been 538, could have been 309. We have no idea. There's no timestamp on the photo. The 638 came through the grapevine, and it may or may not be accurate. May not. I mean, we don't even have authentication that that's him at Dairy Queen. All we have is a single image taken completely out of context. So that's part 1. Witness said TR had a couple beers, not on his receipt. The witness is not the one who waited on him. And he saw him sitting at the bar, so he might have just said, most people sit at the bar drink beer with their steak, so he might have just said, just a normal guy, steak, couple beers. So that's a possibility. It's a possibility he had a couple beers and paid differently, paid cash at the bar. Possible he did not have beers and the guy was mistaken. Possible, I used to work at restaurants. I know this happens. You pour the beer out of the tap and you charge him for a soda. That has happened. It's also possible it wasn't Tyler Robinson. You got to leave open every possibility. But what we do know is you have one server who checked him out, took his credit card, willing to go on the record and say they're pretty confident it was him. You also have another server who was so confident it was him, contacted the FBI. And they printed off the receipt and gave the receipt to the FBI. So there's at least evidence he was there. And is it bulletproof evidence? Is it definitive? No, obviously. But it's evidence. It's legitimate evidence. It's more evidence, frankly, than they have that Tyler Robinson was on the roof of the Losi Center with a 30-06. If we're being honest. Because at least someone positively ID'd Tyler Robinson at Penguin. Sweet B, can you believe Finnerty, Newsmax, had an ex-sniper on the show yesterday, I think, who said in public regarding PK, mainstream media, something exploded under his shirt. I don't know why that's making the rounds, because he has said that on Newsmax in the past, months ago. We played it on the show. And I got a copyright hit for it. I remember that. Newsmax is very aggressive with their copyright. So everybody playing that clip, be careful. You might have to defend yourself in the court of YouTube. But yeah, I remember that. So he said it before. This is Rob O'Neill, I think is his name. This has been his position for a long time, many, many months. I know this is random, but do you think we're being told the whole truth about Chris Kyle and his murder? Never looked into it. I don't know. I watched the movie, Sniper. It was a good movie. What if TR was playing B and they weren't ready for it and that's why it's falling apart? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Hadn't thought of that. Hey, Triple B, prayers for you and yours. Psalm 91, protection over you and yours. My husband and I are going to consider going to Catholic church. Haven't been there for 30 years. Pray for us. Christ is King indeed. Blessings. Well, I'll pray for you. I hope you get active in some church somewhere. It's good for you. Let me know how it goes. I'm very interested to hear the follow-up. Can someone explain to me what doorbell cam tracks a human like it did when Tyler was seen walking an SUV pulled over? It's actually moving with him. That was not a doorbell cam. That was a traffic cam. And the tracking is not the camera moving. It is an individual reviewing the screen, and that you can zoom in and move around and make whatever's on the screen larger. That's what you saw. They did the same thing on the roof. I love that you repeat yourself, my favorite part. Do I do that? Me? Your humble host repeat himself? I got chills. Spill the tea to the jury bear. No, I will not. I'll give them an opportunity. Thank you and your team for all you do. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. You're welcome. Found out Tyler Boyer, COO of TPUSA. He's no longer the COO. Justin Strife is the COO. Tyler in the past was COO. Pardoned by Trump over fake elector scheme in 2020 election in Arizona. By the way, he lives in Mesa, Arizona. Yes, we've covered all that in detail. And that is true. I don't buy that Charlie had a medical exam autopsy. Say they paid the guy off to produce a fake report or he was complicit. The conspiracy runs deep. Charlie was out of Utah suspiciously quick. Yeah, I did a whole show on that a couple days ago. It was Wednesday or Friday. I did a whole show on that timeline and broke it down. And I agree that there is the suspicious possibility that they did not do a complete medical examination. But what can you do? Can you FOIA FBI and SBI phone records for 910? You can. You won't have fun. I don't know if they'll give them to you or not. I've never tried it. Never tried it. Your transition into the bald man's possible whereabouts tonight had me thinking of the classic who's on first, what's on second routine. No one knows what the heck they are doing on the TPUSA side. Yeah. Yeah. Like, why are these four wandering into the hospital so late? I always look forward to your take, Baron. Sending a prayer. Blessing to you and your beautiful family, Baron, my brother in Christ. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Appreciate that. Double Agent Special Sauce. The Big Macs. Yes. Yes. And they always have some fancy title. No one's just a cop anymore. Cousin Baron. It's my birthday today. I knew that because I'm your cousin. Christ is king indeed. Cousin Tara. Happy birthday, cousin. Happy birthday indeed. I find it suspicious there are no photos of the bullets at the scene, but there are photos of the gun and the towel at the scene. I find it suspicious they didn't take a picture of the safety. They didn't take a picture of the gun before they molested it. Not one they released in court. If the case sets the bar on unreasonable doubt, then anybody can be falsely locked up. How will this change case law, Baron? Christ is king indeed. Well, it won't change case law. Because, I mean, unless they go to appeal and then they reduce the standard somehow, but I doubt, and that would only apply to Utah. That wouldn't apply everywhere else. It would change the, assuming they have no more evidence than they showed at the probable cause determination hearing, it would change the confidence people have in the criminal justice system for sure. Why are the pockets bulging when only 2 people with backpacks? Why not put whatever's in there in the backpack? It's a good question. Good question. What is Nurse Casey's email? You can reach Nurse Casey at the show's email, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. Just put in the subject line to Nurse Casey. She'll see it. Police scanners kind of sound like they were sent on a wild goose chase. Perhaps it was to distract from framing the patsy. I hadn't considered that, but it's not a bad idea. You know, get all your law enforcement scrambling all over town, chasing armadas and chasing Zachariah Qureshi and chasing Andrew Piskadlo. Maybe not a bad idea. Blake saying he knows more about guns than Rob O'Neill, a SEAL Team 6 sniper. It's like me saying I know more about the law than Barron. I don't know how much you know about the law. I don't know how much Blake knows about guns, and I don't recall Blake saying that. If he said it, I didn't see it. But if he did, that's crazy, I think. Just catching up on the week's vids. Rolled my car twice Tuesday night in a storm after dropping my daughter and grandbaby off. Steering wheel busted, my pacemaker, and broke my collarbone. Thank you. Love you all. Holy Toledo. Really? I'm glad you're doing all right. That is terrifying. I'm assuming you'll have to have a surgery on the pacemaker. And I don't know about the collarbone. Do they fix collarbones? I'm assuming they do. Best of luck to you. I hope everything turns out well. And I'm glad your daughter and granddaughter weren't in the car with you, frankly. Heavyset man in blue polo, khakis, black backpack. That sounds like Danny. I also noticed Nate left his bag, shoulder bag, in the SUV at the hospital. That's true. Nate ditched his bag, but the other 2 still have their bags. Good call. Good call. Charlie Kirk and Princess Diana's assassination happened at 12:23. LDS and SLC grid system encrypts the deaths, all seeing eye. Liberty Park's 13 South, 13 Pillar, Windsor, Tyler, Lyman. Is that what time? If I look this up and Princess Diana didn't die at 12:23, I'm going to be upset. I'm going to be upset. Princess Diana death time. She died at 4 a.m. local time. But good try. Good try. Good try. It sounded like something that wasn't true. I don't know. And maybe it is. Maybe maybe the news is wrong. Yeah, 4 a.m. local time. 2 o'clock Zulu time. Blake and Andrew are trying to flock around and find out. Y'all better not let us get your flock footage. Oh. Calling it now. The flock camera footage for September 10th will have mysteriously disappeared. Oh, you told me the Utah County Sheriff's Office might have custody of it? I want to see the cell pings, like in the Murdaugh case. Well, here's the thing with cell pings. The cell ping will only tell me where the phone is. It will not tell me where I am. Now, granted, my phone is usually with me, but not always. Not always. And if someone is sufficiently technically advanced, maybe they could make it look like that my phone is with them. I don't know. I don't know how that works. FBI seen on flock cameras in St. George at Tyler and Lance's apartment several weeks before the event frequently. I've never heard that. I've never seen that. And I would love to look at that, but something tells me that sounds suspiciously not true. But if you have evidence, please email it to me. Still trying to find out what to push to gift members. Anyone help with the pick? Recommend Baronism Sweat. Love it. Price is king indeed. It's great. RealBaronPodcast.com if you want the merch. Click merch, go down, click view all, and you can see everything we have. I don't know how to tell you any more than I did. Baron Maroon would be the name of the T-shirt. Question. Maroon would be the name of the T-shirt. Question. Has the investigation into Ben's security team begun yet? I don't know. I stopped vibe coding when I heard meow. Love you, GBC. Nate, note, Flock is only supposed to maintain videos for 30 days unless requested. Christ is king indeed. I don't know what requested means. Does that mean pulled up by a psycho ex-boyfriend? Ivan, does it? Does it? Sounds like flooding the zone over the police scanner, getting strange calls. Sounds like a confusing wild goose chase. Go Max. Love you, RBP. Christ is king indeed. Kinda, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Who needs flock cameras? Clearly the Pixel did it. Case closed. Yeah, 2 pixels. 2 pixels. Edge, maroon required here. College colors. Oh, but not at UVU. They have like neon green or something. My B, wife and I will only watch you and Candace. I wrote you a theme song. I wrote a theme song for your opening and emailed to you. Hope you like it. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Appreciate that. Frank Turk called himself Dylan from the hospital. This is the 3rd or 4th story told by Turdick regarding his phone history immediately after Charlie was taken out. His story keeps changing. Christ is king indeed. Turdick, huh? Love the idea of using flock footage as proof of innocence. Genius. Yeah, if they don't put it in. Yeah. Glad I caught the show tonight. The police in my hometown got caught for using flock cameras illegally. Love you, B. Christ is king indeed. Doesn't that make you feel better? Don't you sleep sounder at night knowing the police are using the flock footage illegally? I would. Thank you. But Baron, have you read Unhumans by JP? I have not. Terrified me, so not read all of it. Posobiec is evil, as is that book. Scary. Christ is king indeed. I'm not reading a scary book. I don't watch scary movies. I can't be the only one thinking having all these on. I can't be the only one thinking having all of the influencers and Trump Jr. at preliminaries was a way to sway the judge, right? No, you're not the only one thinking that at all. They lied so much, didn't know the truth anymore. No, they still know the truth. Kolvet's minions know he's lying, but they chose to ignore it because their greed or matters more than the truth. They don't care that they're misleading people. I mean, honestly, anyone who works with him should be appalled with the ease with which he told that story. Blake calling Rob O'Neill a moron on X today. Yeah, that's what I hear. Moi, to you and Daisy. Moi. Moi. Anyone need 3 pink bull butter kiddo shirts? 1 small, 2 medium. I thought I was ordering adult sizes. When I opened it yesterday, I got a good laugh. First one I opened, let me know. Check her out, Anne-Marie Crochets. Okay, it was me, B. I broke the lamp. I'm sorry. Well, doggone it, Moon Goddess. Go back to PT and stay out of my lamps. Stay out of my curtains, stay out of my lamps. Hello, Sir Baron. I'm beyond excited for you and Julian Dory to sit down and share a brilliant conversation. You are this Jersey girl's favorite. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that, Kelly. How many patsies or backup plans people were there? Are they unstable folks? What if one of them had gotten to an altercation or shooting with police? I don't know that they knew they were patsies. I don't know that Tyler knew he was a patsy until he was. Baron, have you decided to reach out to Jason Preston from We Are the People Utah? He might be someone to connect with. Never heard of him. So no, I have not. This is my second one because I didn't know how to do this, LOL. But let's not forget about Andrew's Freudian slip saying guilt. They're processing their guilt. Anyone else see the 2 of the officers have been Netflix docs? We did. Edge, Helen has video of Moon breaking the lamp. Yes. Helen, but the problem is at the moment the lamp goes down, her curler swung into view. And then the curler swung into view and she looked down and all you could see was her bunions and her bunny slippers. So she's a suspect at best. Great show, B. FYI, interesting on X right now. Aerial footage of K9s in amphitheater area. Mikey taking pic of CK second before flood signals. CK event. Compelling analysis on CK measurements in coffin. Duly noted. Thank you. As a kid, I snuck a soda from our fridge. Got caught. Lied to my parents about it. Got spanked for lying. Not for sneaking soda. Oh, don't do that again. Ivan, Gary, you're still a big dummy. Oh, that's Ivan's opinion, Gary. Andrew and Blake, no, BB, next level for you. Special place in hell waiting for you both. Christ is king indeed. And thanks, Baron. I just watched this before your show, investigating Flock, America's Masters Company. Thank you. Yes. Thank you. I appreciate you guys telling me all this stuff you watching. Don't believe Helen. That video's AI. I didn't throw it. I told you her bunion got in the way. Literally have 3 neighbors mowing as you go into detail about the sound of hearing neighbors mow. It's soothing. There's something innately soothing to it. If it's in the distance, it's in the distance. If it's in your yard or next door, it's a little loud. But in the distance, man, it just like makes me want to lay down in a hammock and watch the clouds go by. Mowing in the background. Oh, take me back. Has anyone looked into how many of the involved staff have more than one phone related to the calls to Ben Shapiro? I don't. Not heard about it. Please keep me in your prayers. I'm having a left total knee replacement on 7/28. Too many years of catching a fast pitch softball. Giga Maggies. Oh, so you were the catcher. I mean, of the softball. Well, good luck to you. Good luck to you. Do the PT, Julie. You'll be back to normal. Actually, a guy at the gym I used to go to had a total knee replacement. And he was back to squatting before too terribly long and was in really good shape. Today, Telegram 20+ independent creators gave excellent commentary on the CK investigation. Censors are losing their narrative monopoly. They can silence top voices, but they can't stop hundreds and thousands. Agreed. That's why I encourage people, talk, do a podcast, get it out. Just start talking. People will pick up on it. FBI, SBI took over actual good active police work. If the bureaus are corrupt, this is just frustrating for the police and proves nothing regarding cover-up. I think I understand what you're saying. I think I do. Something that's always bothered me about the casket photos is where's Charlie's wedding ring? I've never been to a funeral where a married person wasn't wearing their ring in the casket. Christ is king indeed. Keep in mind, his ring that he was wearing fell off his hand. We don't know where it ended up. We don't know who has it. And he was still in Utah. So unless she brought a ring with her, he wouldn't have one. That wasn't the funeral. That was the hour or so he was in Utah before they took him to Air Force 2. Moon, Helen doesn't understand AI. It's raw footage. Duly noted. In your opinion, Baron, when asked, what do you need? Why do you think of all things Brian Harpole asked for an autopsy? Because he didn't want a conspiracy theory erupting. Well, because that's the first thing everyone would think of in that situation, right? Right? If someone close to you was taken down by a loud bang and you thought it was a gunshot and you rushed him to the hospital, wouldn't you say, I need an autopsy so there's no conspiracy here? Obviously. Might be. Would you consider doing an opening statement about J. Edgar Hoover? He was one shady character. I'll consider it. Baron and Aussie here, mate. He's a Kiwi. They say a trash bin, like trash bin. Bloody Swiss. Oh. Bloody Kiwi, excuse me. All right. Duly noted. I'll allow it. I don't believe AK will come clean. He feels protected by the higher-ups. I'm convinced he is until there's no further use for him. And like others, meow. Yeah, maybe. Thank you for that. Jack Psyop, 100% saw TR take the shot. Also JP. Then he crouched down. I assumed he was assembling Granddad's 30-06. Was it 4K or not? Can't have it both ways. That's a good question. That's a good point. Everything he says is a lie. In my opinion. Allegedly. TPUSA, someone's going to cut a deal. First one wins. Mike Tyson said it. Everyone has a plan till they get punched in the face. Christ is king indeed. Thank you for all your hard work. Get the truth. It's invaluable. Thank you. Very kind of you. Thank you to you and your team for all your hard work. I'll be buying some merch today because I truly believe the work you're producing is history in the making. Well, thank you, Mrs. Loney? Loanne? Thank you. Appreciate that. I saw Julian Dory's podcast last night. Mentioned you'll be going on. So excited for this. 2 of my fave podcasters together, all in one spot. I didn't know he said that until I got... if I was Andrew Kolvet, my phone would have broken. Apparently, a lot of people watch him. Circle back to Zach Q and the whole Qureshi family history, but use LinkedIn. Then look at what they and Built Inc. are doing today. I put something together, but have no reach. They are 100% globalists. Yeah, we did a whole show on that. It was months ago. But we did, we even did 2 or 3 shows on the Qureshi. So yeah, we've looked at it for sure. Baron, I love your show in this community. I don't think he drove back to Orem that night. I think he would have just gone home. Just thinking out loud. Maybe. Confusion and diversions with maroon shirts, tangential disruptors, and assorted weirdos are like the gallery scene in the 99 remake of the Thomas Crown Affair. Pierce Brosnan. Yeah. Owen Benjamin did a great piece on that. Candace Owens has made that apt comparison in the past. Very, very accurate. Huge Candace fan here after EK been praying that George isn't a handler. Got worried the other day when she said he deletes all of his history. I love the relationship so much. I hope it's nothing I'd cry. He doesn't give me handler vibes. So, I don't know. Some people do that. I made a video about the CK case, and I think you'll enjoy it on... Thank you. I appreciate it. Andrew tried to pull this when Charlie was still around and got called on it. I wonder what else he did that Charlie didn't know. Yeah, good question. And Cody, I'm not being short with you, but I don't take advertising money from people. And when, occasional promo, happens, but by the 4th or 5th one in the same show, that's advertising. I don't do advertising, so I appreciate it. Colorado here, not a single person I know voted for that psycho tooler, Victor Marks. Rigged, in my opinion. That could be. Could also be that you just hang around smart people. We're going to hear more about polyester burn party. Okay, duly noted. Andrew Kolvet was standing right next to Hunter in the follically challenged. Too funny. Have a man at mass who looks just like Blake Sneff. I try not to stare and pray for him instead. Finally watched your interview with Cassia and loved it. I thought it was a good interview. Thank you. Wait a second. Didn't Danny Phillip have on a blue polo, khaki pants, and a black backpack? And he's on the heavy set side of the fence. Well, let's go to the tape. That's him in the back with a blue polo, khaki pants, and a black backpack. Yeah, and heavy set, schmevy set. I mean, he was heavier set in his high school senior picture. But yeah, and I tell you what, Zach Qureshi, I don't think would be characterized as heavy set. So that's a really good catch you guys made. I did not make that connection today. You guys, multiple of you have. Watch Matt on the Black Line Reef. Thinks Stacey Sheridan is managing Charlie's parents' thoughts. Wonder how they feel about Cygnus DK. Creeps me out. Maybe. I don't know. Do they need a manager? My husband passed 8 weeks ago from a brainstem stroke. Golly. You get a stroke in your brainstem. I guess you get one anywhere. Never even considered it. I'm sorry to hear that, by the way. That's golly. You kept me going on the hard evenings. Thank you for the person you truly are. Could use some prayers, please. Christ is King indeed. I bet you can, Mama of 6. I bet you can. I'm really sorry. 8 weeks. That's just 2 months ago. Is that mid-May? I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that. I will absolutely pray for you, Mama. No lie, my phone is currently sitting with text notifications at over 1,200 unanswered text messages, and it hasn't broken yet. And I can prove it, Mr. Liar Kolvet. Are you on like a bunch of group texts, or you just ignore everyone you know? Baron, I know it's principal. I am an EDS principalship and English teacher. Closed captions does not say pal. Christ is King indeed. I knew what you were saying. That's what I was trying to say. I apologize if my language was unclear. Hey, Professor, can I get a shout out for my girl Jen, who's been holding down the fort while I put on the work 7 days a week? Christ is King. Keep on keeping on. Yeah, Jen. Good job holding down the fort. 7 days a week working, man. You need a day off. I know some people can't afford one, but you need one. It's me from the Bean Station, Tennessee. Today's my 12-year wedding anniversary to my amazing husband, Patrick. He also just celebrated 20 years sober in March. Would love a shout out to him. 20 years. Wow. Congratulations, Patrick. And happy anniversary, you two love bears. Just snuggle each other. Cam that shows side by side and human getting on a roof is the same panoramic cam that shows roof on exit. Why cut panoramic video in half? Alpo? I don't know. That's a question for them. I don't know how those work. Good question, though. Brandon, can you tell my hubby, Alex? We also call him Ace. Ace! Happy 36th birthday, Alex. Ace. He's just getting off work after a grueling week. A grueling week, you say. Christ is king indeed. Ace, happy birthday. Thank you for your truthful podcast. I gave up cable because I get all the news I need on Barron's podcast. Oh, save you some money. Mucho dinero. Sounds to me like the FBI were sending local law enforcement on a few wild goose chases to get them out of the way while they were covering up evidence. Could be. Could be. Regarding hospital lockdowns, any suspect going hospital to hospital or verbalizing threat locks down all area hospitals, all departments until done. I did not know that. See, Kathy, that's why I need you, people like you. I need Kathy friends. I'm bald, might be. Not considering a toupee like that of a Calvary pastor named Jack Hibbs. What shall I do? Nothing. Wear your baldness proudly. I think bald men look confident. I genuinely mean that. Not Blake, obviously, but most bald men. Stand tall. GBC goat water is a spicy Caribbean stew and the national dish of Montserrat, also referred to as kitty stew. Of the navy blue hoodie piece, Christ is king indeed. I learn new things every day on this show. Thank you, Ivan. Officer Bagley knew Zen had already been arrested per Bagley's own testimony. Then why did he decide to go to Losi Rooftop? Zen stood up in the crowd almost immediately. Why the roof? I've got to follow up this week on the roof. So I'm going to hold that. Look at that. 5 bimbos dropping down on people's heads. Isla Morada. I've been to Isla Morada. I ate at the original Isla Morada Fish Company. We used to live in Key Largo right there, and we'd go down there for lunch. It was great. They had a smoked tuna dip that was out of this world. I don't know about all the peripheral locations, but I know that one was great. A. Dunn. Hey, A. Dunn. The mayor of my hometown used to be Ann Dunn. Probably not you. Love the show, B. Did it say FBI went into the home? Legit FBI? Did it say FT did say Seth Dillon called him on MG? Thoughts, or is this old news? Thank you for all you do. Did it say FBI went in the home? You're talking about Qureshi? I don't know that it said. I think it gave us the impression that was the plan, but I can't. I know somebody went into the home because his dad released a statement afterward about them going into his home. So I'm pretty sure they did. Seth Dillon, call him on. I don't know what MG means. Thoughts, or is this old news? I don't know if it's old news or not. The idea that Seth Dillon and Frank Turek talked, I think, broke last week or two. Blocks will soon track all tech in vehicles, cells, iPads, etc. Once captured, they can track you anywhere, even if you're outside the vehicles. Oh, that's comforting. Why is Tyler Boyer smiling in both screenshots you showed from the morning after CK taken out? Their souls are corrupt. I'm sad for Charlie Kirk. I'm not going to judge him for that necessarily. Like, I judge him for a lot of things. But I'm not going to judge him for that because I don't know how I would grieve. You know, sometimes people smile at uncomfortable times. It's just a defense reaction. Zach Qureshi's dad is friends with the Mitt Romney cousin. I'll take your word for it. If Charlie Kirk knew he was going to be unalive because of his role at TPUSA, why would he want his wife to replace him if he was in fact unalive with a role at TPUSA? P.S. I can fix your low volume video. I believe you. We've speculated on that many, many times. I don't know what I can add to it. It's too personal. If it's too personal, please skip. When going through rocky part of your marriage, were you both on board to fix? Or did it take a while for one? Friend trying to avoid divorce and husband seems unwilling to fix. I don't know that I want to go into my personal thing. But you know, it marriage is messy at times, and it's You're taking two independent human beings and you're trying to push them into the same life, and sometimes it's tough. I will say this: if the wife is unwilling to fix or the husband's unwilling to fix, it takes two to tango. That's why I'm not a woman, so I can't tell you what women want. I do say that his needs, her needs book is great. And even if he's unwilling to fix, she at least needs to read it. That's what I would recommend. His needs, her needs, it's fantastic. It's counterintuitive. There's a lot of stuff in there that you say, this guy sucks. Trust me. It works. But that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Because I don't know their situation. I don't know the situation. I'm not going to speculate. I'd have to speculate to say the next thing I wanted to say, and I don't want to speculate. Hey, Baron, I love the goat water. It is so addictive, but so expensive. I understand why you love it so much. I guess I'll go back to Fiji for the meantime. Have a good day, sir, from Texas. It's not, at least the goat water I get, is not much more expensive. It's like 10 or 20 cents more per bottle. But I'll say this. I'm still living off someone sent me a super chat and said go buy goat water with it. So I did. I'm still living off that. I don't know what I'm going to do when that runs out. Baron, much respect to y'all on your noble work. You mentioned that something of this scale magnitude may take 18 months to plan. CK left Israel cause in the last few weeks prior to 9/10. Wonder what else had been brewing for a year plus. I think it's the same issue. That had been brewing for 18 months or more. Truly, it is only TR that can shed some light on this. Maybe. I heard somewhere they auctioned off the vehicle they used to take him to the hospital. Valid or invalid info? Valid indeed. Valid indeed. Who's the man EK seems to be leaning into in the picture shared tonight? Why KP show up in green Armada? Who's KP? Kash Patel? Did he not say it was the director of the FBI showing up in the green Armada? It was just somebody with the FBI. Could be anybody. I don't know what picture you're talking about. Man leaning into. I have no idea what you're talking about. Did I share a picture of her leaning into a man? I didn't mean to. If I did, it didn't dawn on me. Wow, TJ, thank you. Hey, Baron, thanks for all you do. Don't let the Fed sloppers slow you. They will not, sir. Or ma'am. I'm actually not sure if you're a sir or a ma'am. I will not. But thank you for that. Christ is king indeed. Thank you. Have you seen the smokehouse has now withdrawn what they've said about Tyler being there? Maybe due to harassment? I disagree with the premise there. They've not withdrawn what they said. The owner was not there that night. So the owner cannot state one way or the other whether Tyler was there. He's not an eyewitness. The two servers have not withdrawn anything that I'm aware. I haven't seen where either server has come out and said, we take it back, we recant, we didn't see him. I've not seen that at all. So I would think it's due to harassment, but I don't think it reflects on the veracity of the claim at all. On the way to the hospital, when Charlie was getting packed with 30,000 feet of gauze, I wonder if he was getting packed with bullet fragments as well. We have long speculated about that. Look in chat. I'll put a link in the summary page. Okay, duly noted. As far as lockdown at the hospital, it's normal procedure during a shooting, at least here in North Alabama. I believe you. What about the short, dark man in the Toyota that went to the hospital with the FBI? Kash Patel? I don't know. My B. Them flock cameras are surely abused and not reliable. Seen videos of them hacking the camera and then able to change the image. I did not know that. I've not seen that video. Any video like that. I believe there was a chlorine gas attack at a furry convention in Chicago circa 2014. Duly noted, ma'am, or sir, Isla Morada. Duly noted. I asked about the 2026-2028 side note. My nephew's a pilot from here in Philly. Prayers, please. Safety for all crew. Is there something wrong? I have no idea what we're talking about. But I'm always willing to pray for people. Your Laura impression made my night. Oh. I don't know why she looks like that. Thank you, Baron. A must for the clips chat. And she was a good-looking woman before. That's what I don't get. Hold on. Watch this. Laura Trump before and after. All right, watch this here. Look at this. She was a good-looking woman. And I don't know if this first one's fully before all surgery, but we'll assume. We'll assume. Like, she was a good-looking woman before. There's no reason for that. I don't understand how anyone could look at the version on the right and say, yeah, that's what I'm going for. Could you do that to me, Doc? I don't want to look like that hideous, awful thing on the left. Make me look like that. The surgeon should be like, ma'am, are you sure? Yes, Doc. I want to look like that. You're kind of an attractive woman. I mean, conventionally very attractive, like a solid 8. I know, but I want to be a 4.5. I want to scare kids. I don't want to have to put on a costume for Halloween. Could you give me the mask look? Oh, gosh, I can't believe it. She did it to herself, so it's not like I'm making fun of her for a immutable characteristic. Thank you, Baron. Amos for the Clips channel. The best jokes are our own thoughts, and I thank you. I thought the same thing today, trying to watch her. Doesn't buy beauty. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Baron, you, Candace, and Theo Vaughn should do a watch party for the trial. We'd love it. Well, I would love it too, but I mean, they're very busy people. Did you see the news overhead video from the chopper where it shows National Guard on scene? You mentioned the plane went to NG prior. Yeah, I mentioned that helicopter footage a couple of weeks ago, and I said we'd play it at some point, and we never did. Yeah, we saw that not terribly long ago. Your Honor, I think Candace might have spilled the beans to EK's whereabouts this weekend. Perhaps posing with the kids for a Vanity Fair cover. Oh, is that so? Part 2. True beauty is only created by God. Thank you for all you do, especially for giving us laughs along the way. You're welcome. I know the officer in Orem who sent out the APB about Zechariah in the car. We're talking to him help. I'm not encouraging anyone to talk to witnesses on my behalf. If you have some curiosity you're looking to solve, knock yourself out. If you learn anything you want to share with the class, happy to entertain that as well. But I would never ask someone to contact somebody on my behalf, particularly people I don't know. And like, I don't know what your approach is. I don't know if you can like harass people. So no, I'm not asking for it. But if you want to, I'm not going to tell you not to. Baron. A couple of weeks ago, I mentioned Mike Mitchell being a current U.S. Marshal, but I got my wires crossed. It's the bishop, not Mike Mitchell. Might be. The bishop is a current U.S. Marshal? Well, I'll be. I did not know that. The lady had doorbell cam. That of others driving that car. The steakhouse witness he was there, but nobody talking to them. Not sus at all. Agreed. Fatal car crash that killed Diana happened at 12:23 a.m. Google. All right. What time did the fatal car crash that killed Diana happen? Well, why did it say 4 if it's 12:23? At 4:53 a.m., it was announced that Princess Diana had died. Where are we seeing 12:23? She died a few hours later, declared dead at 6. I'm not seeing 12:23. 12:33 a.m., police arrived on the scene. So it could be 12:23, and maybe she wasn't declared dead until then. Duly noted. Duly noted. I'll allow it. I'll allow it. Struck 13th pillar, 12:23, 13 South, later pronounced dead. Promise to prove all this. LDS Church founded by Masonry. Joe Smith. Birthday is 12:23. I've got it now. I think you may be onto something. I still have not seen 12:23, but if they responded at 12:33, that makes sense. It's 10 minutes. But I see the time of death. I don't see the This says 1225. Maybe they're rounding up. I'll give you 1223. I'll allow it. So you're saying the car crash, not the death pronouncement. Thoughts on the Jesse on Fire live last night? LTTG Skin friend Sky Valdez created roof drawing, and CKX at 31 song 1 month prior to event. I believe you all that happened. I didn't watch it. I don't work on Saturday, and that includes watching a lot of I don't like if that had happened on Sunday, I would have gone back and watched it and all that, but I did not. Julian Dory had a medical examiner on last week who said it was totally possible that he was shot with a 30-06. Who's he working for? Is he a medical examiner? I saw clips of it. I've not watched the whole thing. I intend to. I think he's a professor. I don't think he's a medical examiner, but I could be wrong. Maybe he was a medical examiner before he became a professor. ABC4 News was outside the house of TR and Dodge Charger, drove by one way, then the other. It was on the news. I have the clip. I believe you. Totally believe you. What happens next if the government exposed in a cover-up in court? And does anything happen to the state or prosecutors for not trying to find the truth and hiding evidence? Christ is king again. Thanks, VP. If they expose a government cover-up in court, that is going to be supremely problematic going forward. So much so that I don't believe they would permit that to happen. How they would stop it, we'll see. DFlock has a flock map for the entire U.S. Would be interesting to find where the flock cameras are located around UVU. I played that earlier. I showed that earlier. Maybe hit rewind. Be kind, rewind. Known Viva for years. Watched occasionally. Never have I seen him behave so badly, even with people he disagreed with. Seriously in shock by the little funker. I don't know him. I don't follow him. I am vaguely familiar with who he is, and I've seen some clips of him over the years, and I've always had respect for him. I've never realized he was kind of mean and nasty, but the last few days he has been. Maybe he's not. Maybe it's just this issue, but it's really weird. Seems out of character. Sky Valdez is definitely sketchy. You should look at, did you see Jesse's show where LT eyes were different colors from his high school pic? I did not. I hear you'll be on Julian's podcast soon. That's the rumor. I mean, soon's a relative term. It could be weeks. I don't know, months maybe. But I mean, we'll get it done. We'll get it done. What about the Hades planes and UAVs at UVU the day of? So I'll be very clear on the UAVs. I am not a believer in the drones until I see definitive evidence of it. I have done like 9 shows on the Hades plane. I'm not going to give that my thoughts on that again. I've even shown where the Hades plane circled over St. George at the alleged time that Tyler Robinson was turning himself in. So we've covered the Hades planes. Attention, roll call. Moon for lamp break, AK for lion. Yes. Gary's from West Virginia. No, disgracing my state. Well, that's the rumor. I don't actually know that. I just heard him one time say that. I don't know that it's true just because he said it. Can y'all please pray for my 2 girls that dad passed away? It's heartbroken to see them and their bonus mom being torn apart in grief. Oh my gosh. Oh, Michelle. I can't imagine. No, absolutely pray for them. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Gosh. Didn't Ron McCoy say Mikey was covered in blood on TV? Yeah, he did. And then he came back and said that he wasn't covered in blood and that he was mistaken and that he misunderstood. You know, it's better than Andrew Kolvet. At least he's taking accountability for saying something wrong. Andrew just ignores it and crashes out on something else down the road. Speaking of crashing out, we will not be doing any more crashing out tonight because we're done. We've had enough. I kid. I've never had enough. But I'll tell you this. I appreciate you guys coming. I genuinely do. I will be back tomorrow night in all likelihood. You know, what's the phrase? Lord willing and the creeks don't rise. I always heard that was about the Creek Indians. I don't know if that's true or not. But Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. I will be back tomorrow. In the meantime, I want you to always remember Jesus loves you dearly. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you'd like some merch, check it out, realbaronpodcast.com. If you have anything that you perceive as a tip, realbaronpodcast@gmail.com. On the tip thing, though, telling me to watch something is not a tip. Like, I watch what I'm going to watch. I've got plenty of stuff to watch. I've got bookmarks. I got people I follow and all that. As much as I appreciate it and as much as I value your input, like I only have so many hours in a day. And if I watched everything everybody watched, there would be no podcast because I would just be sitting around watching stuff 24 hours a day. I wouldn't sleep. I wouldn't eat. And then I would only watch like a tenth of what people ask me to watch. So I'm not being dismissive when you tell me to watch something and I say, probably not going to. But the reality is I can't watch it all. So we have to pick and choose. Just like we pick and choose the topics we cover. I can't cover everything everybody ever wanted me to cover because like I already know what we're going to talk about tomorrow night. And, you know, not going to change it in all likelihood unless something crazy happens. So with that said, I appreciate it. I genuinely appreciate it. That's not me being rude or ugly or anything. I'm honest with you guys. You know, I could pull an Andrew Kolvet and lie to you and say, oh yeah, I'm going to watch that and then not watch it. I'm not going to do that to you. I'm not going to do that to you. Instead, I'll see you tomorrow night. I hope everybody has a wonderful evening and we'll talk soon. Bye guys.